Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I am Kris Randazzo, and joining me tonight is
world premiere, console exclusive.
And joining me tonight is somehow also an Xbox, Dan Ryan.
Good, I can play that fucking game. You know the one with the guy. It's a first-person shooter.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Not E3 season has concluded with yet another onslaught. Way too long showcases. Did we manage to watch them all? Were there any good announcements? Beware of surprise Call of Duty trailers, because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now.
That was so fucked up. I was so mad. You pricks.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get there. Hi, everyone. This is episode 571. It's the week of June 20th, 2025. And welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else is going on in our lives. And speaking of which, how you doing?
I hate everything and everyone. Not E3 season has broken me, Kris. It's broken me.
Yeah, we're going to rethink this tragedy next year. I don't think we should try to watch all of these showcases. I think next year we should just focus on the big bigs, and that will be it. Everything else we can find our own recaps online. But
nope.
Yeah,
I'm doing them all. I'm doing more of them.
You're gonna start making your own
quitter.
Showcases.
Yeah, no, I put that one of the fucking posts I put. Like, when do we get to have the Stone Age showcase?
Let's do it.
At this point, yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Well,
apparently any jackass with a podcast can have one.
You've got to call it a direct, because Nintendo Directs are a thing, and so you have to use the word direct so that you know it's special.
So it can be the Stone Age Direct case?
Yeah.
There you go.
Direct.
I like that. That's good.
Direct D3. So did LRG3 didn't happen this year, huh?
No.
At least not
yet.
Not. I mean, we don't.
Or maybe. I don't fucking know.
Because I feel like LRG3 was late last year. Let's see, 2024. Yeah, LRG3 was on June 20th last year, and it didn't even get announced until like the day or two before. So we're still on high alert for Nintendo Direct and LRG3.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
No.
I mean, it is over. Like, as of now, it is over unless those things show up. Which I would love to see, honestly. I would like to see an LRG3 and a Nintendo Direct. I think a Nintendo Direct in particular would be very good right about now.
I do too. We
a lot of negativity.
Kind of talked about that, last week, right? Like, not only is there some negativity floating around Nintendo and that sort of thing, but like, okay, we know we've got Donkey Kong next month, you've got Mario Kart right now, and you know you've got Pokemon for holiday.
October.
But like,
well, Pokemon's October. That's not their November. No, it's not their November release. We don't know what that is yet.
Right. So, you know.
We
hope,
know Metroid Prime
right?
exists, but we don't know the release date.
Right.
And we don't know what else they've got frying in the old frying pan. I feel like it seems super likely we'll get another Direct soon, because when's Donkey Kong again? It's like, it's early July, right?
7th?
Donkey Kong Bonanza is July 17th.
17th. All right, I was close.
Yeah,
I had a 7 in there.
They're gonna want to do a Direct to, like, start the machine on that one. Like, let's start the hype machine properly, because they've been showing it off a little bit, but their focus right now is on Mario Kart and the launch in general, and Welcome Tour, which I have words to say about.
I'm excited. I want to hear your thoughts on Welcome Tour, because I have a lot of thoughts, and I haven't played it, but I do have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, we had a pretty interesting discussion in the Discord, but now that I have played through the entire experience, I have things to say. We'll talk about that later. Right now, let's get this not E3 nonsense out of the way. So today we were the intent is to cover I didn't even look at Day of the Devs. Right, Day of the Devs was happening while we were recording last week. I forgot about that one. Day of the Devs, Devolver Digital, Ball Pit, The Kenny Sun Story. The IO Interactive Showcase, Wholesome Direct, Women-Led Game Show, Latin American Game Show, Frosty Games Fest, Southeast Asian Games Show Fest, IGN Live, Green Game Showcase, Future Game Show, Xbox Game Showcase, IGN Live, PC Game Showcase, Death Stranding 2, On the Beach Game Premiere, Black Voices Gaming, and Konami Press Start. I watched some of these. I did not make it through all of them. I tried. This has been a week. I got back from vacation and things happened that required all of my attention. This has been a very hectic week for me. And tonight is even a little off kilter because Karen's out of town doing a show, and Ellie is next door at a birthday party, and John's just upstairs by himself being John. So we're going to have to take a break at some point so I can make sure all the kids get to bed because Karen's not going to be home until late. And I've just been a big fat ball of stress all week long. So let's talk about these showcases. Oh, it is super fun. I totally forgot about Day of the Devs, and I feel like there were things happening last week during Day of the Devs that I wanted to talk about. So why don't you take the lead for this particular segment of our lives and talk to me about what was cool on Day of the Devs.
Since I watched so the only thing I didn't watch was IGN Live, because
I don't think anything was really announced there.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't see anything from the IGN showcases that wasn't also somewhere else.
Right. Okay. Day of the Devs. Here's the thing that I was early on in the showcase while we were doing the show last week that I wanted to talk about that looked super cool. That was Big Walk. They announced this one a while back. This is the new game from House, the company that did Untitled Goose Game. So obviously I love these guys. And they showed this trailer off, I want to say at some point last year. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't know about this. I don't know what to make of this. But this trailer made me a lot happier. You're like these weird duck things, and it's like an online thing, and you're walking around talking to people or something. Super friggin' weird, and I am super friggin' into it.
It does look super fucking weird. The guys remind me of like that little that caterpillar game. You know, like the little kid caterpillar Fisher Price thing. I think it is. I think that's what I think it reminds me of. God, I'm looking it up now because it just struck me as I'm looking at it. Is it My Hungry Caterpillar? No, that's not it. That's the fucking thing on the... what is this? Dancing Cat? I don't know. I'll fucking figure it out. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. This looks super weird. Like you're just talking and walking around and like your nose keeps changing size, which is very strange. I don't know what the hell this is, but Untitled Goose Game was awesome.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. These guys have my sense of humor, so I'm interested in whatever this is. I hope it comes to a platform that I can play it on.
They have labeled it a cooperative online walker talker. So like, all right, sweet. I'm into that. One of the other things they showed off at Day of the Devs that grabbed my attention was Snap and Grab. This one is a puzzle adventure style thing where you are leading like a group of thieves trying to steal a bunch of like cool shit and like expensive stuff from places, but you have to like take pictures of the place that you're going to rob to then like plan out and discuss with your crew the best way to do it. I don't know. It looks really cool. It looks like there's a lot of really neat stuff. Oh, thank you, dear.
Dressing. I couldn't find the blue cheese. I don't think it's there.
That's okay. Thank you. My child just brought me dinner, so that's very exciting.
Thighs.
Yay, chicken thighs. Love a good chicken thigh. That looked really cool. See, and the problem with this is that now I have watched a bajillion trailers over the last week, and I don't remember what any of these are. One of the other
I started
things
taking notes next to the games that I was interested in to remind me what the hell they are.
Yeah,
just because, like, if I wrote down the names, I'd be like, I don't know what this name is. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I am actually, like, I'm cheating, and I'm going to selflessly promote the 4 blog posts that are up on stoneagegamer.com that are the not E3 recaps. I'm looking through the trailers right now to see what the hell I wrote down. This one I actually thought looked really cool. It was a side-scrolling, probably Metroidvania type thing called Possessors, but they showed the art style looks really cool. There's like a cool animation look to it. And the main character girl that you're running around, was beating shit up with a hockey stick. I was like, all right, that looks fucking dope. I'm into that. And then they also showed off a little bit more of Neverway. And Neverway is coming out, and it has people that were involved with Celeste. The pixel artist that was involved with Celeste is doing the pixel art for Neverway. And it's an RPG, and there does look like there's some farming shit in it, but like anybody who was involved with Celeste kind of gets a big thumbs up from me, you know, so like I'm excited to check that one out. And that was really it for that showcase.
Yeah, what is this new Patapon game?
Sorry, I took a bite. I thought you were going to talk longer. It's called like Ratatan or something like that. It is a new Patapon game, but it's not Patapon.
The logo looks like Patapon, but it's Ratatan. Yes. Okay, got it. It's a spiritual successor to Patapon. Gotcha.
Yeah, it very much looks like you won't let us make the thing that we made? Fine, fuck you. I will make Mighty Number 9 then. It's kind of what it looks like.
Please don't.
You know, hopefully a little bit better than Mighty Number 9, but...
Make Bloodstain. Yeah, so I guess there's not really anything else in here for me. I'm scrubbing through it right now. Nothing else is jumping out at me, or the stuff that has already been in other showcases and we've already talked about it. So, I guess let's move on. What's next? The next showcase was
the ball pit thing.
Ooh.
I don't know what to say about this one. It looks like fucking Breakout with RPG elements, and I'm super into it.
Yeah, it looks neat. I think it's hilarious that it's from was it Mr. Sun's Hatbox, which I heard was a pretty fun game, and he was like, Devolver didn't publish that one, but they're going to do this one, so way to get around. Devolver is so weird, and I find it so odd that they decided to just dedicate this whole thing to this one game that looks cool, but like not that cool. Not like dedicated an entire showcase to it. But I think that's the joke. Maybe I don't know.
I think it might be.
How do you predict these people? How do you even begin to understand the depths of the madness? I mean, clearly they couldn't have continued on the trajectory that they were doing before, right? I think they hit critical mass as far as insanity and production values goes. I think that's just over now. So now we've moved on to something else. And that was really weird. But this ball pit game looks neat. I'll try it.
Yeah, I think it looks really, really cool.
I'll give it a go.
I don't know. It is a really weird mix of elements for a game, but I trust in Devolver for the most part. You know, not everything that they decide to publish is amazing, but it's all usually pretty good. Yeah. And this just looks wild enough to work.
Oh, fucking hell. You know? We missed one.
What'd we miss?
We missed RPG Direct 2025, Indie RPG Showcase, which is not the same thing as Indie Quest.
Fuck you. I don't care.
It's a second indie RPG showcase. It was 5 days
No, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Are you kidding me?
You know what I watched today, Chris? I found a website. I'm going to see if I can't. Let me see. Where the fuck is my history? I got to sort through all the porn. Hold on a second.
You know what makes me happy about this? It's 39 minutes long.
That's
like
pretty good.
Good for you guys. You did it. You did one that's not 19 hours long.
Snailed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the fuck? I'm trying to find. So I found a website today that was just like recapping all of the E3 stuff. No, it wasn't the VG charts one. I don't know. I found it. If I can find it again, I will. Here it is. All right. So it's Games Recap 2025. So this is 2025.gamesrecap.io. And it is all of the trailers that were released during not E3 season. And as I was scrolling through here today, just to be like, all right, let me see what I missed. There's a showcase called the N3 Showcase. Did you know about that? It was mostly in Spanish.
No, N3.
Yeah, N3.
New to me.
Yeah, it's in today's blog post called "The Big Two Plus a Few." Yeah, the N3 Showcase is in there. So I don't give a fuck about this other RPG one. I watched a whole new showcase today. I watched all the fucking trailers for this one today too. God damn it, I am done. I'm so fucking over it. Had enough.
I'm adding this one to the list.
Okay.
Just the list of things to look out for next year. But I'm going to share one with you right now. This one caught my eye. This is really wild looking. So let's see. I'm going to start it at when this trailer starts. Go ahead. And I'm going to send this to you in the SAG chat.
In the Discord or the Messenger or the...
Just in the Messenger.
Okay. We're fractured. We have so many things.
Evan's not going to cut any of this dead air out.
No, he's definitely not. Nor should he. This is good stuff. RPG Direct, Indie Direct Showcase. Boop, boop. Okay, this started me at the beginning.
At around 9 minutes or so.
No, it did not. So I will just go around 9 minutes or so.
Yeah, go to, at the 9 minute mark.
9 minute. Okay, so that's dreamed away. Okay. The fuck is this? This
looks so cool. It's called Effulgence? Effulgence?
Fine, fuck it. I'll watch it and do another post. God damn it.
It looks like some sort of weird RPG style game that's made out of DOS prompts. This looks so cool. Wow. Well, good for you, RPG Direct 2025. All right, keep talking about whatever the hell you were talking about before. I'm going to keep scrubbing through this while you're talking to see if anything else comes out of me.
Just that game looks fucking weird and cool and interesting.
Okay.
And
so we finished Ball Pit, and then it was time for...
I agree that there's not really anywhere else Devolver can go as far as production, all that Volvy shit.
And Volvy
they were coming into the house
as posters and stuff.
What the fuck, man?
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
Wow.
So next was the IO showcase. Was that just Hitman or whatever? What did they show off at that? Just Bond?
That Hitman and some more Bond. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. But was there anything new and exciting that I needed to know about?
No.
I'm not sure that I feel that I may have been too harsh on Bond. I think it was because I'm so burnt out on the so many things.
Sure.
That it did absolutely nothing for me. But
yeah.
For anybody who is excited about it, good for you. That's wonderful. I'm glad these games are for someone. Because, when you play a video game that you can't figure out who it's for, it gets pretty freaking frustrating. More on that later.
Yeah. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Well, this is another sort of cool thing. So there's another one that it's called Odd Venture. And its visual style is definitely it's clearly inspired by Earthbound, but maybe even a little bit more Undertale. But it's animated like way more modern, so it's still all pixely, but it doesn't look like an 8-bit game with kind of like 16-bitish style. It's a little bit. It looks pretty interesting. Odd Venture. Huh.
All right, I'll watch this showcase.
Showcase has had 2 things that have interested me in it. That's not what I was hoping for. I was looking for a showcase with a bunch of nonsense, but here we have one at a reasonable length with 2 games so far that look interesting to me, and nothing so far that looks genuinely bad. So, okay, fine. Cool. You win RPG Direct 2025 from Noko Godo.
Sure. Noko Godo.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Sign me up. All right, so anything there? James Bond just looks like more James Bond. Good stuff.
Yeah, it looks. I think it looks great. I fucking love James Bond. I'm super excited to play through a new James Bond game.
All right,
that looks fun. Yeah,
another trailer for Off.
Yeah,
we already know that
next
one looks
cool. Yeah,
was
next up we had
Direct.
the cozy or wholesome. I don't know. I wrote cozy. Okay,
it's Cozy Games, but it's the Wholesome Direct.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck it. There's a typo in my post that I'm not going to go fix.
You son of a bitch. I hope there wasn't a different Cozy Direct. Was that like a whole other thing, maybe? Was there a whole other showcase that we don't know about?
No, there definitely wasn't.
I'm not going to bother researching that.
Because I don't want to know. So, did anything stick out on that one?
Yes,
I had a bunch from this one that actually looked really cool.
I have a couple from here, too. Where'd my notes go? Cozy Direct. Oh, sorry, Wholesome Direct. Now you got me saying it. All right, so the first one right off the bat, Leaf Blower Company. Yes.
Fuck you.
Yes, please. I looked at that and said, yep, that looks even better than the Power Wash Simulator. I looked at this one and said, you know what? Blowing leaves, that's a little bit more my style, even more so than I'm into that. I
hate all of that shit. I'm glad somebody likes it. It makes me so irrationally angry how many simulator trailers I watched this year.
Yes, the general consensus of simulator, like most of those, I'm not super thrilled with. But like the Power Wash Simulator, I was like, oh, look at that. Because I love power washing, but it's also kind of exhausting and really loud. So you get the thrill of power washing something without all of the things that make power washing less fun. And this is the same thing, but with blowing leaves. I love blowing leaves, but I don't always love having.
I'm going to just go do it.
Yeah, I don't always love having the noise of a leaf blower and the vibrations in my hand. And it makes me happy that exists. I wrote down, this Hobbit game's been coming soon for years, and it still looks horrid.
It still looks so bad.
It looks
God,
awful.
I hate the art style on that game, yeah.
I think that's what it is. I mean, it doesn't look like it runs particularly well. It looks like it runs a little better than when we saw it a couple of years ago. But, boy, this game does nothing for me. I don't like the look of this game at all. And they keep putting it in showcases and putting trailers out, and I just think it looks horrible.
I think it looks real bad.
Spending this much time on something that looks this bad is kind of depressing.
Yeah, I don't like the influencers that keep trying to like talk to me about this game. Like, no, this game looks terrible. Like, it just looks terrible. Okay,
I got another one for you from this RPG Direct. So this is called Die in the Dungeon, as in like dice, like
dice.
Die. Yeah. So like it's this big. You're this adorable frog with a sword. Like you're a frog knight with a sword, but not like Frog from Chrono Trigger. You're just a lot, for lack of a better word, derpier looking. And it's like this giant thing that can hold a bunch of dice shows up in the middle, and it looks like you have to take turns placing various die and rolling against each other. And then when you hit finish, it determines how much damage you do to somebody else. This looks really cool. I think it might be a little complicated, but I love the art direction is great. And this whole concept is pretty cool. Die in the Dungeon. February 20. It looks like it came out already. February 21st, 2025 on Steam. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like this. That's cool. All right, go on.
The
only other thing I wrote on Wholesome Direct was Everdeep Aurora looks kind of neat. It was the Black Cat adventure game with the sort of not full color pixely graphics. Yeah, that looked pretty neat. But that was really it for me. Everything else, like nothing else, I found horribly offensive that I can think of. But nothing else really jumped out at me. But I was watching this one very quickly because I was trying to get it in before the show. What else jumped out at you?
Die in the Dungeon is in early access on Steam right now, and it is $13. Anyway, so the first one that jumped out to me was called "Is This Seat Taken?" This one I thought looked really cool.
Oh, yes, that one. Is this seat? I almost wrote that one down, and then something
you're
distracted
dragging
me.
and dropping little characters, and
looks neat.
You have to match make them and get them sitting next to people that they want to sit next to, and it looks snarky and shitty, and I don't know. I thought it looked pretty fun.
It does.
The next one
I can confirm to you there is no Cozy Direct. It is the Wholesome Direct. Okay. There is not a separate entity called the Cozy Game Showcase or whatever. You're free.
Excellent. Thank God. The next one that stuck out to me was Make Room. And this one only stuck out to me because it was kind of like unpacking in a way of you're decorating and whatnot, but you're also like building furniture and designing the furniture. I like watching this. I was like, I could see how this could get really like in depth and creative and really cool. This just looked really neat and like a fun little time waster kind of thing. So that one stuck out. That I thought that one looked pretty cool. This one is it's on Kickstarter.
Neverway game. Hold on. That Neverway game that you mentioned, the artist, that's in the Latin American game show.
Yeah, it was in a bunch of things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go on.
It was in a bunch,
I'm background watching that one while you're talking so that I can try to catch up with you.
This one was called Ambrose Niflet and the Gleaned Bell. And you were a little detective-looking dude. Yes.
That's a name.
Sure.
I know which one. I remember which one this is.
It's the stop-motion looking one.
Yeah.
This just looks so crazy. Like, I don't know.
I don't want to play the game particularly, but the visuals I thought looked amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks stunning. It looks like something like, man, fuck, I gotta play that. You know, like it just looks... It stuck out to me the way Plucky Squire stuck out when that was first shown off of like, wow, this looks really cool and different and interesting. Mm-hmm. Another one that stuck out, and I think we've mentioned it before, was that Winter Burrow game where you're the little mouse.
That showed up once before, yeah.
I think it has... but this one still looks pretty cool.
Who can keep track?
Yeah, at this point, for real, who can keep track? But it reminds me of like storybooks when I was a kid, like the way it looks, and I'm kind of into that. I also I did have Everdeep Aurora on there. One that I definitely am going to play with Tiff, because she is who she is this Haunted Paws game where you play as it's a co-op game. And it's a quote-unquote horror game, like it's a scary game. But you play as two puppies trying to rescue your human friends in a haunted mansion. And you get to, like, create your puppy from scratch, and they're adorable. And there's, like, little co-op puzzles that you can solve as you're walking around, and just different stuff where you're a dog, and you can put hats on them. Because, like, cozy games are what they are, so you put hats on animals. Legitimately looks really cute. Basically, like if Scooby-Doo was saving the rest of the gang on his own in a co-op game, that's what this one was. So that looked really cool. And then I also had All Will Rise, that a deck builder game. I dig deck builders. The art style in this one looked really cool. Yeah, but it's just a deck builder. Then the last one from this showcase that also showed up a bunch of other places was Out and About. And it was
that looked pretty good.
Yeah, what I thought looked really cool about it, though, is that, like, the plants are real-life plants, and, like, the information in the game is all real-life information. You know, like, you're not finding these weird mystical flowers, you're finding dandelions and shit, and, like, learning. I don't know, I thought this looked really cool, and an interesting way to learn about, like, horticulture, I guess, and also play a pretty cool-looking cozy game. And that was it. That was what stuck out to me for that one. Yeah. I think
that was it.
Maybe there
that
were
was
others.
It for me.
There might have been more, Kris. I don't know.
Who can say? So that was Wholesome. I mean, that wasn't terribly long. So what was after Wholesome?
No, it wasn't.
Wholesome
the
comes to
women-led game
women-led.
showcase.
That I thought Spilled looked kind of neat, and nothing else interested me.
Really?
Yeah.
That I'm actually
Again,
surprised by.
I was watching this really quickly, so there's probably cool things that I skipped, but the only thing that actually jumped out at me and then I looked at for a second and decided to keep watching was Spilled. Nothing else is like really jumping out at me.
Well, on the Stone Age Gamer blog, you might find a few other things that interest you. One of them would be Will Follow the Light, which was it's a first-person, I don't know, adventure. You're like trying to figure out what the fuck happened to your family, or you're trying to get back to your family. I don't know. It looked pretty cool. The environments looked really cool. The lady who was talking about it seemed like, I don't know. She just made it seem pretty sweet, and I was into it. Another one that jumped out was Fallen Tier True Ascension. This is another Metroidvania style game, but I really like the art style. I thought this one looked really cool. It had the attack animations as they were showing off the trailer looked really fluid and like animated really, really well. It looked very much like a cartoon, which I'm into. Fallen Tier True Ascension. The main character looks cool. The boss fights look cool. Yeah, this one I'm surprised didn't stick out to you.
Nope, not ringing a bell.
No? Okay. That one looks really neat. I'm into that one. Another one that I thought, I don't know, I just kind of liked the idea of this one, was called Crescent County, where you are you're witch, and you're like racing on the back of, they called them motor brooms, and it just looked fucking absurd. Like you're racing and you're making deliveries, and you can like upgrade your broom. I don't know, this just looked fucking weird and silly and just kind of neat. Probably not something I would like play a whole bunch, but you know, that wasn't the only reason for us to highlight these things.
Right.
Another one that jumped out, I just love the way that they described this game. It was called Unbeatable, and it was a rhythm adventure game, but where, like the very start of the trailer, I'm just skipping over to it right now, it says, a game where music is illegal and you do crimes. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. Sold. But it looks kind of cool. It's like an adventure game where the like combat and different stuff in the game is done like in a rhythm game style. Again, art style looked pretty cool. Was into that one. Roots Devour was like a weird, like scary, crazy looking thing, but it's also a deck builder card game thing. It's kind of hard to jump in and describe the deck builders without playing them, because there's so much that goes into like the strategy and the minutia of it, where it's like, I don't know, this looked like a creepy deck builder. Cool. But the one that actually stuck out the most to me, and I actually used it as the picture for the blog post, was Wander Stars. And this was the crazy anime looking thing that looked very Dragon Ball-esque, but the way that the combat is done, at least from what I could tell, like, you collect words throughout the game. There's like 200 words in the game. And then you put those words together to make your attacks. So, like, if you watch through the trailer, there's a bunch of words down on the bottom of the screen, and, like, the one I'm looking at right now, the person selected Super Fire Kick, and then the character does a Super Fire Kick. Wander Stars. Yeah, there's another one, Super Fast Punch, and, like, I don't know, this looks
this showed
nuts.
up at a couple of different showcases.
Yeah. This looks really nuts, but really cool. Like crazy anime nonsense.
Yeah, it hasn't grabbed me, but I think it's the main characters. I don't like the main character design, but this one's. I remember this one, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm not as enthralled as you are.
Yeah. The idea of using, like, words that you collect to make your attack, like, I don't know, that just sounds so creative and
is a neat
interesting.
Idea.
Yeah. But that was all I had for that.
Okay. So next was Latin American, right?
So I combined the Latin American, Southeast Asian, and Green Game Showcase into one thing because they were all, like, right back to back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
so you tell me what stuck out to you because you didn't watch it.
Well, I'm only
because you're watching it right now.
I'm 36 minutes into the Latin American one, and I'm definitely not getting to the other two. So I'm currently looking at Lost Vulcan, the bunny-looking game. Looks kind of cute. I think Code Bunny looks neat.
Yep, I have that one down.
That's a super fast-paced, action-y game. That looks kind of cool. Yep. And Gunny Ascend it looks like my kind of crazy. That was the well puzzle game. You're controlling a character within a falling block puzzle looking thing. That's right up my alley. That's my brand of stupid right there. That looks really cool.
Yeah, that is definitely your kind of nonsense.
That's all I've found so far.
All right.
Yeah, nothing else has grabbed me yet. But yeah, but by all means, talk about the things that touched your nethers.
My jimmies. I had Code Bunny down. I had Iron Hive, another deck building strategy game, surviving in a dying world. That looked kind of neat. Lurks Within Walls was a survival horror RPG. This one just kind of stuck out, like the designs in the world looked pretty fucking, like, crazy. So, like, it plays out, it appears like it's going to play out like a modern, like, 3D or first-person, like, RPG kind of thing, but it's very, very firmly rooted in, like, the kind of horror games that are being made right now that feel like throwbacks to the original Resident Evil. But I thought that one looked really cool. I had, what else? Core Breaker. This one looked kind of cool. Another action platformer, 2D pixel kind of thing. Looked like crazy and hectic and just the kind of bullshit that we get into. Yeah, you know. Nothing groundbreaking, but definitely looked pretty cool. One of the ones that really stuck out that I was really kind of like taken with was Oscuro Blossoms Glow. I don't remember which showcase this was in, but this one, just the way it looks and the way it animates and the world that is in it. It just looks fucking crazy. The main character, like, the gameplay hook seems to be that you like pull light or energy out of, like, flowers and put them into other things to interact with the world and change the environment and, like, influence the like bugs or creatures, whatever the fuck, are walking around in this world. This one just looks really interesting, and I'm not entirely sure how it's going to play. Because it definitely doesn't look like like a quick, like I'm just going to run and, hit a bunch of buttons and do a bunch of cool shit. It looks like much more thoughtful than that. But the world itself just looked really, really crazy. This one was actually, I'm looking at it now, in the Latin American game showcase. But yes, Oscuro Blossoms Glow. Like, really, really stood out. Then there was another one, just another survival horror looking game, but this one was a like old school pixel looking one where you're like a dude. It's called Shadow Sacrament: The Roots of Evil, and you look like an old London dude with like a top hat and like a sweet beard, kind of walking around. And there's some puzzle solving in there. This one really looked cool too. It felt like a throwback to kind of old DOS games almost. Like I don't know, I got like not King's Quest, but that style, like that kind of pixelated look and storytelling to it. But with like modern sensibilities and stuff, which I don't think is selling it well, but it looks neat and I was into it. I also I had so many of these. God damn it. I'm sorry. Teo's Journey.
Tune out for a while. You just keep talking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Teo's Journey, another one in the Latin American showcase. This was another like 3D or not 3D, 2D Metroidvania with a really nice looking cartoony art style. The combat looked really cool. Like cool puzzle solving and stuff. The graphics in this one like really, really stuck out. It looked really neat. Chunky Jump looked fun. It's a short little horror thing. So the way the developer describes it is it's a short horror platformer where you must survive through the night on your bird boy. But beware, the gabbit is hunting. So it looks like you're playing like a Game Boy analog, and you have to like play through the game while this like weird jump scare creature is like coming at you. I don't know. This looks fucking weird. Eagle Knight Paradox looked really cool as a. This gave me what the fuck was the name of the game? Oh, god damn it, Kris. What did we just play for the fucking Super Series? My brain doesn't work anymore. The Sega Genesis game with the robot and the weird control scheme.
Oh, we didn't just play that.
No, I know, but you know what I mean. God, why can't I remember the name of it? Anyway, gave me those kinds of vibes. But there's also like a weird... there's like a weird section where you are the pilot of the mech, and he's a dude who like is like he only has one leg, and you have to walk around, and there's like
Ranger
relationship
X.
building. And yes, thank you. The mech parts felt very similar to that. So this looked really cool. Yeah. Oh god, Montabi looked cool. This was a Pokemon-esque game, but the way that you battled looked cool. It was like on a weird like grid looking thing. I don't know. This looked, of all the Pokemon type clones that are out there, this one you don't obviously collect Pokemon, you collect Montabi. This looked interesting. The battle system looks similar to Battle Network, the Mega Man games. Yeah. And the creature designs look really cool. I was into that one. And then I had, a few more from here. I Need Space looked like a nice little cozy kind of game. You are a little space traveler, and you walk around and go throughout outer space with your cat. I don't know. Okay. Art style looked really cool for this one. It stuck out. Kill the Music looked like if you took Vampire Survivors, but you had to attack and dodge to like kind of like Vampire Survivors and Crypt of the Necrodancer kind of together. But you were walking around and you were using guitars or drums and shit as your weapons. This looks absurd. and looks like it is either going to be incredibly fun or just god-awful. They showed a trailer in the Latin American Games one for just an announcement kind of thing for No Straight Roads 2. No Straight Roads was really cool. Sorry, no, this was in the Southeast Asian one. No Straight Roads. Did you play that? It came out years ago.
No.
All right, No Straight
Can't
Roads.
say as
cool
I did.
Game. They announced No Straight Roads 2, so that was cool.
Exclusively gay
Castaway.
roads for me.
What's that? Exclusively straight roads?
Gay roads. Exclusively gay roads for me.
Oh, gay roads. That's... Well, I mean, I don't do gay shit until like 8:30. It's only 7:50, so... Cappy Castaway, you're a capybara, and you just exist in the world. What fucking more can you ask for out of life? And then the last one from that whole conglomeration of shit, one that I think you would actually be into was Bahamut and the Wak Wak Tree. Did you see? Okay, I assume you haven't heard anything about that.
Like the name,
this
though.
just... Yeah, no, this is a 2D adventure game, really cool looking graphics. You have to fucking like restore the ocean. It looks really cool the way you move around the world, kind of swimming through. Looks really neat. This looks really awesome. This one's already out. I know you can get it on Steam right now. But yeah, that looked really cool. And that was all of that shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was. Let me pull up the list here. You covered wholesome, women-led, Latin America, frosty, Southeast Asian, green. That was all those?
No, just green and not frosty. Frosty
Not
was separate.
Frosty was a different beast. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you have anything from? I haven't watched Frosty at all. Didn't watch Frosty. Didn't watch Future Games. So anything good from those?
Frosty had a couple things. There was one thing called Foodamina, where I don't know, you're like cute food girls and you're fighting mold in space. I don't know. That looked really ridiculous. Bones Wandering Soul was a puzzle adventure looking game where you're this really just fucking impossibly cute skeleton moving through the world. That looked like fun. Junklands looked pretty fun. Just a 3D action platformer style game, but it just looked neat. I liked the way the characters looked. I liked it. It reminded me a lot of like the current 3D platforming games that I actually do like. But the one that really stuck out from the Frosty Games Fest has possibly the greatest name for a video game ever. And it is by a company called Toot Games. And the game is called My Arms Are Longer Now. And in this game... Yeah.
Right.
You need to look up this trailer right now. Yeah, you like need to watch this trailer for My Arms Are Longer Now. The developers describe it as you are a yucky, long-armed thief. Snake through levels, retract like a vacuum cord, or put on a sock to seduce a lonely guard. Whatever it takes to pull off the perfect heist. And, like, legit, it is just a world where there is this creepy, fucking weirdly long arm going through the level stealing shit. It looks amazing.
Well, I'm looking at a trailer from 7 months ago. Huh.
It looks incredible.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly what this looks like. This looks incredible. My arms are longer now. What the hell?
Yeah. I have no idea. But like there's one part in this and where they were doing the Frosty Games Fest thing where like the arm stole a cricket bat from somebody who was fucking cricketing and then like started going through the rest of the level. I was like, this is the exact kind of bullshit I am here for.
Huh.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to eat too.
It's just funny that I typed in My Arms Are Longer Now and I got the trailer for that and then that Doctor Who special where Donna and David Tennant were all getting long arms.
Speaking of, let's take a break here for a second, Kris, because we did not watch this current season of Doctor Who. We just started it this week and watched the first episode with the where they go to the planet after the dude named her, the star after her, whatever the fuck.
Right.
And like, I know what happens at the end of this season, but holy shit, was that episode bad? Oh my god. It was
trying
awful.
to even remember it. Like, I remember it, but I don't remember it. Yeah.
Because it was fucking awful.
Yeah.
The dude who named the star after her is like the weird AI robot, but it's not AI, it's AL because his name is Owl. And like, they opened the fucking monster. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
The season seemed like to me that it was starting to get pretty okay by the time it wrapped up. There were a couple episodes that I was fairly entertained by. I'm not going to say it was like, we're back, baby. But
I'm looking forward to this next one with the cartoon guy.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun one. I like that one.
That looks fun.
Neat. That was neato.
I want to love Doctor Who. And, like, I realize that this version of the Doctor may not be for me. I'm struggling to find out or to figure out who it's for.
Yeah, I had that problem, too. I did not enjoy him very much as the Doctor.
He fucking cries about everything. Like, he starts crying about the girl, the Sasha 55. Like, we meet her for 30 seconds in the episode, and then she dies, and he's crying. Like, what is happening? I don't understand. I can't care that. Anyway.
Hey, Superman looks pretty good, huh?
I cannot fucking... I'm so cautiously optimistic.
Same here.
I want it to be great. We're watching... So, Father's Day is this Sunday, so 2 days after we're recording, and I decided this is the year. The kids are old enough where, I mean, this would have been a thing we either would have had to watch it when they were way younger, or now I feel that they're old enough and they'll be able to appreciate it. We are going to watch Superman 78 on Father's Day. They have never seen it. It is, as I have mentioned many times on this show, my favorite superhero movie without question. There's really nothing that even comes close. Like, even with the fucking... I recognize how much more of a spectacle that Avengers and Endgame and all of that stuff... Like, I get it. I do. Superman 78 is... There's nothing that quite hits the earnestness and the way that Christopher Reeve understood that character when he's talking to Lois on the balcony, right? And he's the way he delivers the "I never lie" line is like that nailed Superman. Like, it's just so fucking perfect. Love that movie so much. And I really hope they like it.
We are going to go see Last Crusade in the theater.
Very nice.
It's my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
It is the best Indiana Jones movie.
I agree. Most people say it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. I disagree. I think Last Crusade is better than Raiders of the Lost Ark. I still think Raiders is a masterpiece. This isn't a I like pancakes. Oh, so you hate waffles kind of a thing.
So you fucking hate French toast?
Yes. No, this is. I think they're both. I think it's a wondrous movie. But I just think Last Crusade it does everything that one does better. I love it. And it's doing a limited run in theaters for Father's Day, and
which is awesome.
Like, yeah, my dad and I are going to go see it, and taking the kids. That Karen's going to show them. It's Karen's movie pick tomorrow, so she's going to show them Raiders tomorrow. And
nice.
I was kind of hoping that she wouldn't pick Raiders because, like,
oh really?
Well, I saw Last Crusade first, so like,
okay.
I was kind of hoping to repeat that with the kids, but no, they're going to see Raiders first. I don't think it's really a problem. I was just kind of thinking like,
No, I don't think so.
they've got a better chance of agreeing with me if they see this one first.
There it is.
But hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm very curious. I think that I just think it's such a good movie. I've never gotten tired of that movie. It's so good.
I absolutely adore it. The only issue I have with Last Crusade is that I feel the ending is a little like, and it's Indiana Jones, right? So it's okay. It's just like, I like the whole, like, you chose wisely, you know, he chose poorly, blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit much, you know, like it's a little much, but
in what way?
Overall, I just fucking love Sean Connery so much. I don't know. It's just a bit much. It's a bit much. That's a really old fucking guy. It's stretching the bounds of reality a little bit for me, which I know is the point. I get that.
And the Wrath of God in a Box didn't?
No, that part's fine.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like,
I'll never understand with people with Indiana Jones movies. Like, interdimensional beings. I don't know about that. That's they were always so rooted in reality. Like the first movie,
no, they
with
weren't.
The Wrath of God in a box, and a guy's wax face melted off. Like,
yeah.
This is Indiana Jones. This has always been what this is. The movie
absurd.
Temple of Doom, a dude reached into his heart by saying Kali Ma, just reached through his chest with magic.
Yeah.
With magic. They didn't break the skin, just kind of phased right through it.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's
interdimensional
right
beings, that's a bridge
but
too
that's
far.
a bridge too far. That's right, baby.
I don't care for Temple of Doom. I really don't. I don't find that movie super fun to watch. Willie Scott really just hurts
Rubs
that
you the
movie
wrong
so
way.
much. I hate that character so much. And the bridge scene is fantastic, but like Short Round is fine. I don't really care about Short Round very much, and the whole plot is stupid. And
that's a little racist, but
they don't.
It's all right.
The whole movie's racist. Holy shit, that movie's racist. Have you ever even seen India on a map? No, they eat monkey brains though. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. No, that movie's troublesome. I mean, it's still Indiana Jones. It's still a good time, but like, there's things about it that most of the movie I don't particularly care for. It might be my least favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Really? Over Crystal Skull?
Crystal Skull's got Karen Allen in it. Like, yeah, Crystal Skull's got problems.
It does.
Crystal Skull's got like scenes that I like, the stupid swinging on with vines with the monkeys and the. But like, I don't know, that whole sword fight that leads up to it on multiple cars is pretty great, and Karen Allen like bossing Mutt Williamson around there's a lot I like about that movie. There's a lot I don't like.
I mean, I like it too. Like, well, and it's kind of weird of like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I think, is my least favorite of the Indiana Jones movies, but I still really like it.
Yeah, it's a really good time.
It's not a bad movie.
No, it's an Indiana
I certainly
Jones
like
movie.
I like Temple of the Doom a lot. Temple of Doom a lot more than you do. But yeah, like it's fucking Indiana Jones, man. Like they're awesome.
Yeah, I've got to see Dial of Destiny a couple more times before I decide its placement. I didn't hate that either, but I do think it was kind of unnecessary in some ways.
No, I put that at 4th of the 5. Crystal Skull is last. Whatchamacallit. Then Dial of Destiny. Then probably Temple Raiders and Last Crusade.
I think we have pretty similar lists.
I think it's the order I would go in. Yeah. Sometimes Raiders edges out Last Crusade, but that's only when I'm trying to be shitty to Tiff. Because she loves Last Crusade so much. And I'm like, it's really not that good. Like, just to fuck with her. Anyway.
All right. That was a nice breather. Back to work.
Yeah. Future game show.
talk to me. What happened at the Future Games show?
Whispers in the Fog was a first-person psychological horror game that is definitely not for you. I don't know, but it looked really fun and creepy, and I'm into it. A lot of this stuff, like, my kids really want to play together, too, as a family. Like, they're kind of into that stuff now. So that looked cool. Herdling looked cute and interesting. You are guiding a herd of something. I can't quite... They're like yak fucking things. I don't know. This game looks really fucking weird and interesting and cool. Like, I do not know what these creatures are. I do not know what the point of any of this is, but it looks really cool. So I'm into that. Then we had Constance. This one actually really stuck out. It is a hand-drawn 2D action game, and the main character wields a paintbrush, and that is how you interact with the world and fight enemies. And there was like some definite like Splatoon-esque traversal of the levels in certain parts. Like, I don't know, this one looks really cool. I think this will be one that comes to all of the platforms and is one of those like indie darling type games. It just looks really, really neat. Then we also had Call of the Elder Gods, which is a sequel to Call of the Sea, which was a first-person puzzle game, all kind of Lovecraftian shit, which I'm into. So that stuck out. That looked really neat. Kind of, you know, that kind of creepy vibe and whatnot. There was another one called Fading Echo. This one, again, the art style really stuck out. Very cool looking 2D or 2 and 3D action game at certain parts. Like, it looks like it changes throughout various aspects of the game. She also, the main character in this game, travels around kind of in a Splatoon-esque way. Like, you change in this little like water blob looking thing. I don't know. Looks really neat. Super into that one. Hella looked like if they took the fucking, whose name I can't remember now, the mouse from the fucking PSVR from Moss. If they took that mouse and just made it a 3D adventure game, that's what it would be. So yeah, I'm into that. Moss was awesome. They also showed off a movie that I know you love, Terrifier. I know you're a big fan of the Terrifier series, Kris. They are doing it.
I was just watching them before the show tonight.
No, I know you were. They're currently on in the background. I think this is fucking great. I love that this is a thing that exists in the world. They are doing a Terrifier beat 'em up where you are just the Terrifier, and it's called the Artcade game, which is it looks fucking absurd. Like, it's just a beat 'em up where you are the dude, and it's bloody and violent and goofy, but like really nicely animated and like old school pixel graphics. It looks fucking great. They showed off a game called Holston, another psychological horror game. This one is set in a Polish town in the 90s, which you know how much I love 90s Poland. I fucking talk about it. Yeah, it's all the time I talk about it. Looked like it had some, it looks like a mix of like a 3D flashback, but then when you go into the combat sections, it looks like the over-the-shoulder perspective of Resident Evil 4. I don't know. This one looks really weird and interesting. There's some driving sections in there. This one looks really cool. But I think my favorite game that they showed off during this one, they also showed it off at the PC Gaming Show, was a game called Worship. This is a Pikmin-like game where you are trying to incite the end of the world. And the trailer was absurd. Like, it started off with, like, just sacrificing this dude. Like, they just whale this fucking dude into the concrete and use his blood to draw a pentagram. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Dear God. But it's like this, like, quirky black and white and red world with, like, splotches of color here and there. But it's also like a Pikmin-style game where you have to fight things and grow your numbers. This looks nuts and right up my alley. And kind of the way that, like, Cult of the Lamb took off, I think this is going to take off in a Cult of the Lamb-esque way. And that was Worship.
Okay, what else you got? Is that all for future games?
That was it. Yeah, that was it for future games.
Was there anything from Frosty you want to cover before we get to Xbox?
Well, we just talked about those, Chris. That was Foodamina and Bones.
Oh, Jesus, we did. I can't even fucking keep track when we're recapping them, for God's
I know, when
sake.
we're doing it now. My arms are longer now.
I guess
we
should probably finish on Xbox, because that's the one we're going to go through everything.
Yeah.
Was there anything worthwhile? I took one look at the PC games with 3-hour showcase and thought, no, I can't do this to myself.
Watch that whole thing. Wheel World is a game that they showed off before, but it still looks cool. I'm interested to see how that one plays out. This game coming out called Mugenics. It is from the creator of The Binding of Isaac and Super Meat Boy, and it is an endless cat breeding RPG. You really don't need to know anything more than that. Yeah, it's absurd. They showed off another thing for Baby Steps, which looked cool, continues to look cool. They showed off another trailer for Dispatch, which is a superhero workplace comedy, visual novel type looking game. Looks really fun. They showed off a thing called Railborn, where you are kind of building a life on this train. Like, you're just kind of perpetually moving along this train, and it's a survival game, but you're also building the train. And like the way they were showing it off, like, you're adding rooms to your train as the train is moving, and you like get off and find supplies to keep building crazier and crazier shit on your train. And then by the end of it, they show like this fucking mansion on a trip. Like, I don't know, this looks fucking super weird, but I'm kind of into it. They showed Pizza Bandit. It is a mission-based 4-player co-op third-person shooter where you are a pizza chef who then goes out and starts fucking shit up Doom style. Like, all right, I'm into that. That's my kind of stupid. That looks neat. But then the one that stuck out the most to me out of this 3.5 hours was the new game from Ponkel, the Vampire Survivors guys. This one is called Berserk or Die. And
what showcase did I see that in? That's
it was also in something else.
I didn't see it on a showcase. I saw it on their fucking Twitter account because I followed them.
Yeah.
It was not on Blue Sky. It's the, you have to mash on the keyboard, right?
You're mashing the keyboard and with the mouse and whatever. I haven't picked it up yet. It's only like, it's less than $5. I don't want to destroy my keyboard though. Like, I don't know, because it also has game controller inputs. I don't know. I'm going to grab this at some point. It is out. Like, I think it came out the day of the showcase. Let me see. I think it's still like legit. I think it's less than $5. Just scrolling through. Stuff is on sale. Where did it go? Yeah, Berserker Die. It's $3.59. Fuck it. I'm going to buy it now. Because it's less than $4. And that will take my wish list. So after all of this shit, the fun part of all of this is that I'm looking at my Steam wish list now, and my Steam wish list is up to, after I buy this one, it will be down to 175 games. So, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out, Chris. This is absurd, though. This
Too
is
much for any of us to play ever.
too much for any of us to ever get through. But I am going to buy this right now because it's less than $4, and they kind of have my money for life, I think.
Oh, same here. As soon as it becomes available on something that I can play it on, I will be giving that a go.
Yeah. Just read my card number out loud here. Expiration date. No. I mean, you guys can have it. You won't be able to get much. Just saying. But I do have $4 for this. Save my payment. Yes. Oh, I earn some more Steam points. Purchase. For a grand total of $3.83. Done. All right. So I bought that. I'll let you know how that is next week. Or maybe later in the show. We'll see. Depends on how we take a break. But that was it. That was it for the PC gaming show. That was a weird show where they showed off just a lot of shit. A bunch of other shit that like looked cool, but so much of it looked like, okay, so here's another Souls-like, and here's another first-person crafting thing, and here's another survival sim. Like, there's just a lot of similar stuff. But yeah, okay. So that takes care of that. All right. Now we're on to the big two plus a few.
Death Stranding 2. We talked about the RPG Direct. Black Voices in Gaming. Konami Press Start didn't really show anything new.
Yeah, the Konami, I pulled just a couple things that they showed off in there. Just really two things. The Silent Hill remake from the same people that remade Silent Hill 2 from Bloober Team. So that's awesome that they're remaking the first one. Because that one definitely needs it like way more than the second one did. But then they showed off new stuff for that Darwin's Paradox game. They had showed this in a state of play a couple months ago where you're the octopus. And you're just like kind of making your way through the world. Kind of like if you took Octodad and made it a 2D platformer. I don't know. This looks nuts. This should be on every system. And I think this will be a relatively fun, but like a big deal that people are talking about later on in the year. They did have, I pulled out 4 things from the Black Voices in Gaming showcase that looked pretty cool. One of them was Yasuke, Lost Descendant. So, you know the story of the Black Samurai, Yasuke. This is a 3D action-adventure game kind of based on that story. But it looks fucking nuts. Like, it is not an old-school samurai game. This looks like a modern, like, if samurai were in the world currently and it was fucking crazy. I don't know. It looks really, really cool. There was another one that they showed. I don't know how to feel about this one because I feel like this is either going to be celebrated or something that people really shit on for being too on the nose. But they showed off a game called Relooted. And the crux of this game is that you are making your way. You're like you're playing as one person in a team of thieves. Making your way through like museums and stuff to steal back African artifacts. Right, so like we know in the history of the world, a lot of these artifacts were stolen and placed in Western museums and Western collections and that sort of thing. So this is kind of like showing the story of a group of people who is going back to reclaim these things, which I think is a really cool idea. But I think it also could be super duper offensive. Like just looking at the character designs, it looks like somebody, they don't look AI generated, but they sort of have the vibe of if you were like, design me modern looking African futurist, and that's what they say in the description of the game, like design an African futurist style, and like this is what it would spit out. But the gameplay looked kind of cool, you know, and I like the idea of the game behind it. I thought that was neat. But it also has nothing to do with my culture, so I don't know if it's offensive. They showed off another thing called Advent Neon, which was a really, really like fast-paced 2D action game where you can like freeze time and I don't know. This looked like really like almost frantic and frenetic to the point where I might be too old to play this shit now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I could fucking track it. It's moving that fast. But it looked cool. The one that stuck out the most, though, was a game called Toss Down. And the way their developers describe it is a blend of Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio, where your whole goal is to make it through this world and complete deliveries while all of this crazy shit is happening around you. And there's a bunch of like power-ups and stuff. I don't know. This looks legitimately super fun. This one I thought looked amazing. But that was all I had for that one.
All right. So what were the big ones you were talking about? I mean, obviously the Xbox one, but what else was big?
So this recap, I separated Sony out into this one. I kind of saved it from all the other ones to put into here. So the big two plus a few, I really just went with that because I liked the wordplay of it. But the plus a few was the Black Voices in Gaming, the Konami, and whatever the fuck this N3 thing was that I watched. I'm not going to discuss very much because I don't want to any longer.
Well, we already covered State of Play.
Yeah, I know. But we still have the Xbox thing to talk about.
Yes.
Unicorn Wars looked fun. Your House is a narrative puzzle thriller. This looked really cool. The art style looked really neat. There was another one called Little Lighthouse of Horror. I like horror things set in lighthouses. That just feels right. This was an old school, like, pixel-looking one. Another little pixel platformer thing called Darby is Here Forever. You're just like this little fucking demon-looking thing, and I don't know if you're a vampire, but it looks like you're using blood to, like, make platforms, and it's adorable. I don't know. Looked very cute. City of Dolorosa. You're somebody who has just died, and you're exploring and trying to, like, solve puzzles in this weird city. The art style looks really, really incredible in that one. Stars of the Trash looked like a Don Bluth movie, but you're a cat, and it's a platformer. That looked really cool. The one that stuck out the most, though, was also apparently in the horror games thing, but I missed it. It was Dark Mass, and it is a Resident Evil style, like 3D horror game. But the thing that hooked me in the trailer is that it starts off with this chick jumping into the water in like full scuba gear, and as she's swimming down, she's like, "Fuck!" Like, I found it, and there's a house under the water, like a full fucking house, and she like uses a crowbar and breaks in, and then there's like shit alive in the house, but it's an entire like Resident Evil style horror game that takes place entirely underwater. I was like, that is fucking wild. What a weird idea that is. And that looks really cool. So yes, that was all of this N3 thing.
Okay. Is there anything else to discuss before we get to Xbox?
No.
I think we covered all of it.
God damn it, I think I have.
All right,
I think
then.
so.
It's time to talk about the Xbox showcase. So, we were saying that the PlayStation one was really good. And
it was great.
Yeah, that was very good stuff. And so, what Microsoft should probably come out swinging. And I don't know that they did. I don't
think they did.
I wasn't floored by this one. In fact, I was kind of bored by a lot of this one. But
by most of
it.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds 2.
That looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any context. I didn't play Outer Worlds, but sure, looks neat. Looks like it's more of that.
That looks great. Yeah, the sense of humor, the whole thing. It's quirky as shit. The puzzles are clever. Like, yeah, that looks outstanding.
They followed
So
that
it was
up
a good start.
Yeah, good start. Solid start. And we also knew that the whole like second half of this was just going to be a big deep dive on Outer Worlds 2. So they knew they were hitting this one hard, which is interesting. It's an interesting pick for your like big game. So good for them on that. They followed it up with High on Life 2. Not something I expected to see. Yeah.
I am just not interested in that though.
This was
that one just
the Justin
there's
Roiland
something
thing,
about
right?
it.
Like the first one was all Justin Roiland's Rick and Morty humor, but it wasn't like Justin Roiland's kind of like Bad News or something.
I think so. Like I think he's a creep. I really don't love Rick and Morty. I really don't.
I liked the what I've seen of it. I watched like the first season and a half, maybe. I liked it well enough. I didn't get the obsession with it, but I enjoyed it enough. But
that's what I'm saying. Like it's fine, in my opinion.
This didn't excite me. I mean, it looks fine, looks neat. If you like the first one,
yeah. Meh.
Then we got Resonance,
A Plague Tale Legacy.
Yeah. Okay. Looks fine.
Yeah, I mean, Plague Tale is cool, but this, like... Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't stand out.
It left no real impression on me. Then we get to... Boy. So we reported a couple weeks ago that the Microsoft handheld was... basically, that whole project was put on ice. Which we thought was a great idea, because why bother making your own unique handheld when there's all these handheld PCs out there and you want everything to be an Xbox? And that's what they did. They were like, cool, we're going to partner with ROG Ally and make our own exclusive version of the ROG Ally, the ROG Ally X. This thing looks big. This thing looks enormous and heavy. It doesn't dock, as far as I know. Like, it's just...
It doesn't appear to.
It doesn't appear to. There was some news story today. Let me see if I can track it down. Rumor the price on it.
Oh. Because that's going to be the make or break thing here. Like, I like the design of it. That's like... I find the Steam Deck to be very, very comfortable. I would like it if there were, like, some extended hand grips that this thing has. Just for like longer sessions. But I also play with it docked fairly frequently.
Yeah, I don't really do handheld very often at all. I mean, the Switch 2 I've played in the time I've had it. I've played it handheld really twice. Besides the parts of Welcome Tour you have to play handheld. But like, I took it to bed to play some Welcome Tour because I was rushing to get through it. That's about it.
Right.
I really just like playing on the TV. It's nice to have it portable.
Sure.
Since I work from home, I don't have a lot of need for a portable. All right. So currently, according to Vice, if the leak is true, the white ROG Ally will cost £600, while the black Xbox ROG Ally will cost £900 in Europe.
Oof.
The YouTuber claims that he heard the USD prices would be $499 and $799.
So that's kind of in line with the Steam Deck, right?
I think so.
I didn't buy me one. You guys bought me one, so I don't know how much the OLED was. I'm looking it up
looks
now.
Like the ROG Ally X 7-inch. Best Buy has that's not the Xbox one. Is the 7-inch 2 terabyte one is $1,000 right now.
Holy
Steam
fuck.
Decks.
The 1 terabyte OLED Steam Deck is $650.
$650. So this is a bit spicier.
Well, and the Steam Deck is not going to play the same games that this thing is.
Yeah, this is going to cover...
It's just not going to.
This is going to cover Xbox and Steam, which is interesting. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean
if this is, is the Steam Deck going to become an Xbox? Like, because really, why not, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, at some point, yeah. But, because, like, this is what we were talking about, before when you would ask me, like, did I miss an announcement about the Steam Deck 2? Like, no, you definitely didn't. But, like, the Switch 2 and this thing, like, all of these things are pointing to what the Steam Deck 2 is going to be. And I'm just going to wait for that. Like, this looks like a really nice piece of tech. It does. But, like, I'm just going to wait for the Steam Deck because I like SteamOS. I like the fact that I can just boot up and play and it's ready to go. And that will be, like, the big thing that kind of makes or breaks this thing is that, from what I understand, the ROG Allies and the Asus, whatever the fuck, they're not as pick up and play as the Steam Deck is.
Right, because they are very portable PCs, but I assume this one's going to have like that very Xbox OS kind of a thing. So,
yeah, I hope so. I do. Like, I hope that this is an awesome thing that pushes the market and pushes innovation and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look like it's for me because, like, I would rather have. I would much rather play something on TV. Like, I would rather.
Right.
I have to wonder.
They did spend a heck of a lot of time showing off Silksong on this thing, though.
They sure did. Still no release date, but they were like, "Yeah, Silksong's going to be on this thing." Okay. And
eventually,
you were saying,
"Yeah, that made me real mad." Like real mad.
Seeing all this Silksong gameplay and like, what are you doing here? Are we getting a release date? We getting something? No. We're getting, you get nothing. You lose. Good day.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Why?
Just tell us something. Just like God, you fucking pricks. This thing I think looks really cool.
Confused. Yeah, it looks neat. I can't say I'm like utterly floored by it because I'm looking at it like, at what point does a handheld become just silly? Like, this thing is huge.
Yeah.
Where are you taking this?
The Steam Deck is really big, though. Like, it is really big.
This looks bigger than the Steam Deck, right? I don't know. I'm crazy. Like, it just looks really bulky. At what point? This just seems even. I feel like the Switch 2 is really pushing it as far as like size for something you want to bring somewhere. Like, this is going to require a lot of dedicated space to carry somewhere. I feel like the handheld market is in a very odd place right now, and I'm not saying this doesn't look cool. I'm just wondering about the usefulness of it. Like,
right.
This isn't. Remember the Game Boy Advance SP?
Yeah,
just fold that up in your pocket. That was pretty cool, huh?
I still every now and again take that with me places, and I'm like, hey, I'm just going to do this.
I remember getting the 3DS XL and being like, yeah, it's pretty big, but it still fits in my pocket, and I'm good. Like, the Switch, I will never take that out of the house without a carry case, and the Switch 2 even more so. Like, if I'm taking that somewhere, I'm bringing, like, it needs to be in something. I need to, like, take care of it. And, like, if we're pushing we're getting close to $1,000 for a handheld device.
Yeah, like that. We're getting pretty crazy at that point.
I'm starting to wonder about, like, just the rationale behind it. Like, I don't know what the option is. Like, it is still neat that it is an Xbox and it's handheld, but I feel like the purpose of handheld gaming is starting to diminish. I don't know what I'm saying here. It just seems something's off about this. I'm looking at this and it's like, again, when I opened up the Switch 2, I was like, this is big. This is, I think, the absolute limit of, like, my willingness to carry around something this big. This is enormous. I get it. It's nice to play on the toilet with a screen that big, but also, like,
it is.
No, it's just, it's a big boy. So
it is. From what I can see, the Steam Deck is a little bit bigger than the Xbox Ally. So it looks like, so the picture I'm looking at here is coming from IGN. So the Switch 2 has a width of 10.7 and a height of 4.5. The Xbox Ally is about an inch wider than that at 11.45.
That's including the beefy ass handles.
Yes. So it looks a little bit so about an inch bigger than the Switch 2 at 11.45 and negligibly taller at 4.7. It's thicker. The diameter. So the Xbox Ally has the thickest diameter at 2 inches. The Switch 2 diameter is 0.55. The Steam Deck is the widest of all of them at 11.7, but is only 4.6 inches high and it's 1.9 inches deep. So the Switch 2 is definitely the smallest. The Steam Deck is wider but shorter than the Xbox Ally and a little thinner. So as someone who plays the Steam Deck quite a bit, I really don't take it out with me very much. I mean, I was certainly taking it to, fucking chemo treatments. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't remember the name of what I was doing because of chemo. I was taking it to the infusions and shit and playing it there, and that was really nice, especially with the size of the screen and the kickstand, because I still wasn't really playing it in handheld mode. I was kickstanding it up and playing with a controller a lot of the times. And the screen is certainly big enough that you could play and have somebody, when Tiff was sitting there with me, we were both watching the screen. But when I do play it handheld, it's usually like Tiff is watching whatever she's binging on YouTube or she's running through a rewatch of Call the Midwife or whatever. And I'll just sit on the couch next to her and I will have it. And it's really nice to have it that way. And it's comfortable enough to play and hold and all of those things. So, yeah. But as for, portable, yes, it is, but so is my, desktop. Technically that is also portable if I carry it somewhere.
My laptop is portable, which is bigger, but, it's a laptop. It's a...
Yeah, it's...
technically the Virtual Boy is portable, So it's... Yeah. I don't know. It is weird. It's a weird space. I don't know how to feel about it. But this is a better idea than them developing their own internal one from scratch, which I thought was just an absolutely
1000%,
hilariously stupid idea. In that market where they want everything as an Xbox, they're going to be like, yeah, and we're going to make our own portable too. You really shouldn't.
You don't need to do that, guys.
I feel
you've already told me that I am an Xbox.
I feel like everybody else has beaten you to the punch, and you can just put your stuff on them or make your own branded one, which they did. So good for them.
Yeah, smart move.
Yeah, smart move. All right, so then they followed us up with Blood of the Dawnwalker, which I forget who was. I think it was Genix I was talking to in the Discord. I was talking to somebody in the Discord. It was like because Daywalker was was copyrighted or something. It's like, okay,
they should have just taken the money that they were putting behind this game and remember they showed off a trailer for a Blade game or a teaser thing a couple years ago. Just throw the money at that. They were already doing it. It's fine. Just do that.
Yeah,
this did nothing for me.
Very, very wanted to be Dark Souls, so...
Very generic.
But then we got Meat Boy 3D. That was cool.
That is cool. It looks impossible. I will never play it. I am so bad at Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, I might try it. If it comes to Switch 2, I'll probably give it a go because I am terrible at Meat Boy, but I really liked it. I had so much fun with the original Super Meat Boy.
Yeah,
the first,
it is super fun.
Handful of stages that I was able to get through. And this looks like it's making the transition to 3D better than Dadish did. I feel like there's good stuff here. So, and it looks real nice. I'm very happy with this one. This is a cool announcement. I do wish they would just make a Super Meat Boy 2, but
right,
in light of that, this will do.
Yeah, it'll look good.
Next, we had Ninja Gaiden 4 looks. I mean, this isn't a huge surprise. We've already seen Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yeah,
it looked great then. It looks great now. I love the first Ninja Gaiden. I got that collection on Switch, and I still didn't really put any time into 2, and 3 is just kind of messy. They did other versions of 3 that kind of fixed
following the NES trilogy.
Yeah, following the NES trilogy, yeah. But now we're getting a proper 4, and I have a good feeling about this one. It doesn't look... It looks like it's keeping the stuff that I really like about the original Ninja Gaiden, so that the original 3D Ninja Gaiden trilogy, which is I really liked the action. I really like the way it moves. I really like the way most of it looks. I didn't love a lot of the character designs, and I didn't like the story at all. This seems
it was
like
just a little absurd.
But that was under the watchful eye of what's his name, that dude in the cowboy hat that was really full of himself. God, I can't remember his name.
Itami or something like that.
Itagaki, maybe.
Itagaki, yeah,
because it wasn't Igarashi, who also wears a cowboy hat.
Right.
He was the other dude who was like super full of himself in charge of Team Ninja, and was like
always
super
wearing
proud
sunglasses.
Of that. He was like, "No, I've never touched the original Ninja Gaiden games. Fuck those games. Mine's better." Like.
Yeah,
you're an asshole.
Yeah, he's kind of a tool. Yeah, kind of a
stop
tool.
That. Maybe, like, yes, you made a really great game, but maybe you could have made an even better one if you had, I don't know, some connection to the source material. But whatever. This one doesn't look like it has that problem. This one smells to me like it's a new direction for the old 3D Ninja Gaiden games, and I'm very curious how it's going to go, and I hope it shows up on a platform that I can play it on.
Yeah. It looks neat.
For the second time tonight, let's talk about Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I got to get this game, man.
This is another one. I was really surprised at the end of this that I didn't see a Switch 2 logo, because this seems like the kind of thing that they should be trying to make run on Switch 2. It doesn't seem like it's completely out of the question. Switch 2's
I don't
relatively
think so.
powerful. Obviously, it would be a pared down version, because that's just the way that works. But it also seems kind of pretty well suited for it. I don't know. I was surprised at how few Switch 2 logos we saw during this presentation.
I was kind of surprised at how few Switch 2 logos we saw this entire 2 weeks.
Yeah, for any of the presentations.
Yeah.
Like that's really weird to me, considering how big Switch was and how much Switch 2 is already, like, Switch 2's install base is already pretty fucking large.
It's over 4 million or something like that now, which is amazing.
That's what makes me keep thinking that there's some kind of direct in the works. Like,
yeah. I feel like there has to be.
There's a lot of games happening in the world, and it seems odd to me that so many of them wouldn't be on Switch, unless we had heard that it was difficult to get dev kits for it. So maybe there is going to be a weird dearth of these games. But, do you think Microsoft wasn't able to get a dev kit for Switch 2? I kind of feel like they'd be able to pull that off.
That seems strange. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think this game looks neat. I wasn't crazy about the first person thing at first, and then I remembered how much I loved Metroid Prime, and I was like, you know what?
Right.
If this really is as well done as I've heard it is, plus Travis Parker's voice, his Harrison Ford impression is outstanding.
It's real good. Yeah, it's real good.
So yeah, I'm interested in this. I'm glad it's getting some DLC. Yeah, it's pretty cool. keep the Indiana Jones stuff alive. I want this to be very good. I've heard it's very good, and I hope I get to play it someday.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to do this in 15-second increments because of Gambler. Let's see, what was next?
Yeah, no, I know.
Beast
next
of
was
Reincarnation.
Yes, the Game Freak Souls-like. So, like, okay.
Okay. Could you have chosen a more boring font? I know that's a weird thing to nitpick,
no, it's not,
but
though.
when they showed the logo at the end, I was like, is that placeholder? What the hell? Did your
It's not even Helvetica New.
Have the
it's
day
just
off?
Times New Roman. What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah, it
for
looks...
what they showed. Like, it looks fine. It looked another Souls-like. Like, I saw this and I went, well, I mean, that's not Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah, the only thing I got out of this was I hope that the people at Game Freak are using this opportunity to learn how to make 3D games that don't fall apart. I hope this is a great learning experience for the team, and that because visually speaking, it didn't look bad.
No, it looks fine.
I'm just really hopeful that it's there are some good side effects here, and that they bring this technical expertise over to the Pokemon team for whatever Gen 10 is going to be, because that's the next mainline Pokemon game, is the 10th generation. So you have the power of the Switch 2 behind you.
Right.
And like we talked about last week, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet look way better on Switch 2, but they still look like they still look like kind of crummy Switch games. Like, they're not super detailed.
You have polished the turd. It is still a turd, however.
Yeah, like,
it's just a shiny
gameplay-wise, apparently it's quite good. John loves the game. People really like the game itself. It's just so technically wrong. There's just so many basic things, like, the camera shouldn't be able to see through the ground that easily. All right.
Not in the year of our Lord 2025, Chris.
Yeah, not in the year of our Lord Eternatus 2025.
Yeah.
Then this game really pissed me off.
What, Clockwork Revolution?
This trailer was like 15 minutes long, and it just kept going.
It is 5.5 minutes long. Yeah.
Holy fuck, it really is? Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I have it all pulled up. Yeah.
This trailer kept fucking going, and they really wanted me to be impressed by it. Like, they really, really wanted me to be impressed by that.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't.
I'm interested in this game. I think it looks interesting. I like the steampunk aesthetic. The story looks like there's something interesting there. The developers, right? In Exile, what the fuck else have they done? In Exile has done something I think that I liked. Hold on. Pulling it up. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Yeah, okay. Initialize your fucking website. Jesus Christ. Let's see. In Exile has done... maybe not. Wasteland Remastered, Wasteland 3, 2, Torment, Mage's Tale, Bard's Tale. Bard's Tale was alright. The Bard's Tale games, like Bard's Tale Trilogy, Bard's Tale 4, those were good. They were fine. I don't know, this one, yeah.
It just bothered me.
It looks fine.
Yeah. I was getting Concord vibes from this.
Okay.
Like, I was getting like the way that Concord presented itself as, like, we saw Guardians of the Galaxy, right? And we saw it, and we know how they talk, so we're gonna make this thing that's like Guardians of the Galaxy. Look how fucking clever we are. Look, like, this guy likes ketchup. You see that? That's a whole personality. This is really good stuff. It's really interesting, and I think you should pay attention to it. And, like, that was that fucking puppet, the cursing little puppet guy. That's all that smelled like to me. Just like we made a little guy, right? People like little angry puppet guys. He's just curse words. That's really cool, isn't it? This game's got so much personality. You should really like this person. Like, it smells so focus tested. It smells so.
It does.
So boardroom. Like, no, make him curse a whole lot. The kids will love it. It's going to be such a meme. We're going to make such a meme out of this. There's going to be so many GIFs and memes on the internet of this funny little guy saying curse words. It's so funny. My grandkid said that it's really funny. I love money. It just made me nauseous. The whole trailer was just. Please stop! For the fucking Christ, stop already! Why is this? It was
a lot. It was a lot. Yeah. I just like steampunk. So.
Yeah, I like steampunk, okay. Now, this just did nothing for me.
All that being said, this is not a thing that I'm going to, run out and be like, oh my god, this looks amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to get this day one purchase. Like, that is not what this is. So.
No. Absolutely not. So then Matt Booty shows up, and I'm fairly certain he is no longer a real person. I think that was AI.
It might have been.
Something did not seem right about him in that space.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know what was going on there, but he seemed not okay. I don't know that he was there under his own free will. I don't know what was happening there. Similar situation with Phil Spencer later.
Yeah, that was weird.
He just didn't look like himself. He was wearing solid black instead of a t-shirt with the Quake logo on it or something like.
Yeah, it was where was the fucking Hexen t-shirt, Phil?
Where was the Hollow Knight Silk Song shirt, Phil?
Yeah, right, you dick. Did you get that tattooed somewhere too? You fucking asshole.
It's just it's weird. It was weird. All right, and
Grounded 2. Then they showed off Grounded. Okay.
I didn't think anybody played the first Grounded. I didn't think game
went
either. Anywhere. So the fact that this got a sequel was a big surprise to me. Not one I really care about either way. It looks fine. But that was a shock. Cool.
Yeah, that's neat. I don't care.
The same thing with Chronos. I don't care about this either. As a spooky first-person shooter.
Oh, yeah. This looked okay. This looked like it was trying really hard to be Dead Space.
Uh-huh.
And, Dead Space already exists. I hated the helmet design on this, astronaut. It was very vaginal. And, normally you would think I would be super into that. But it's a weird design for a helmet. Can that be our episode title? It's very vaginal. No? Oh.
I next up was Elder Scrolls Online.
Yep. It was.
I feel like people who like Elder Scrolls Online are really happy about this.
For sure.
I kept expecting something bad to happen to that cat creature. I had so much anxiety watching this trailer. Something bad's going to happen to that kitty, or something bad's going to happen to the cat's owner, and the cat's going to be really sad, and I'm going to be sad. But then it didn't.
And then I get to be the cat.
And I was happy at the end because none of that bad stuff happened. It looks perfectly nice. Again, it's not something that I have any familiarity with. So booyah! I don't know.
Yeah. Not for me.
Yeah, not for me, but I'm glad it exists. I'm glad it's getting supported, and I'm glad that the people who like it get more of it.
Yeah.
Go team.
Go team venture.
Speaking of stress, Aphelion, I think is how you say that?
Yes.
Oh, no. This game looks cool, but I don't want anything to do with it. This looked super stressful to me. It was the astronaut survival really cool. thing. I was like, God, no. I'm anxiety just looking at it. Wowzers. Just
yeah, this looked really neat. I forgot to put this in my blog post.
Looks real neat.
I skipped over it for whatever reason. I don't know what anything is anymore. Right. This one I thought looked really cool, though. But not as cool as the next one, which was my favorite game that they showed at the Xbox thing. Which I don't think is any surprise. Like, I don't think that is surprising to anybody who knows this show at all.
My response to this was, oh, I don't know. There Are No Ghosts at the Grand is a musical murder mystery game, I think.
But a first person, like, where you're, like, redecorating, but also traveling to, like, a weird shadow world?
And trying to solve a murder mystery, I think?
Yep,
or
I'm
just
100% in.
And it's a musical?
Yep, I'm on board.
I don't know.
I couldn't be any more excited for this.
I'm not saying definitely no. I'm saying I don't know about this one.
The weird fucking paintbrush mustached fucking screen talking to you. Yeah, there's something about this is just it's hitting me in all the right places. Where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I'm in. The cat's talking to me at the end of it.
It is certainly interesting.
Yeah, 100%. This is my favorite thing they showed at the Xbox thing. I was like, this is for me. Thank you, gentlemen. Because then they followed it up with Age of Mythology, and I couldn't care any less. All right, fine. Age of Mythology, great. Good for you if people like that. I've never heard anyone talk about Age of Mythology anywhere. I've never seen people discuss it online. Like,
clearly somebody is, just they're not in our
somebody
circles
must
because
be.
they keep making them. So somebody cares. It's not me, but somebody does. Fucking weird.
They followed that up with Mudang Two Hearts. Which I don't really get this one.
It's not about the little hippo Mudang. So therefore it's a big missed opportunity.
It certainly is. It looks kind of neat. It looks Metal Gear Solid-esque.
Some sort of third-person shooter thing? I don't know.
In the gameplay aspect of it, but not storyline-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, you're controlling two characters. Looks fine.
Yeah,
looks fine.
It's about where it didn't leave any kind of impression on me other than it not being based on the baby hippo. So
yeah, that's fair.
So I don't care about it. Planet of
that
Lana
up.
2?
Yep.
There was a Planet of Lana 1?
I don't know. This looked fine.
Yeah, it looked pretty neat. It was a 2D, some sort of, I wrote pretty 2D game. I'm trying to remember specifically what it looked like. But yeah, I remember.
It looked nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it looked nice. Fallout 76 is getting fishing DLC.
Yes, but it's called Gone Fission, and that's great.
Solo leveling awesome. Arise as anime nonsense.
No. Solo leveling Arise Overdrive.
Oh, sorry.
It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole thing. Yeah,
I forgot about the rest of it.
Solo leveling is apparently two words that I cannot say back to back, but is also an extremely popular anime currently. So I'm sure this is going to do very well.
I have no doubt it will make people that aren't named me very happy.
Yeah. I feel like this is like you did like One Piece and now this is like the next big thing. I think. I could be way off.
Okay. Anemo. Anemo is not Pokemon. It looks cute. I also wrote, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, sure.
Tony Hawk is
that
old as
one,
fuck.
like, yeah, Tony Hawk is old as fuck, and they really didn't need to show anything else for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. We're gonna buy it. We already bought it. We're good. Don't spend your money on this. You don't need, like, stop advertising for this game.
That's certainly a thing. So anyway, Tony Hawk's old as fuck. So Fate's End. This is from the folks who made Spiritfarer, and surprise, surprise, it looks pretty dang cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I don't know
I haven't
about
played Spiritfarer, but
yeah, the thing that threw me off of this one a little bit was it looked. Where was I? I'm trying to look in the trailer. I thought this was the one that had like a weird thing about the combat, maybe. Like it looked like you were pointing, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. This did look pretty cool.
Yeah. Apparently Spiritfarer is like super awesome. I haven't played it, but it's been on my list for a while, and I like that these guys are making a new game. So just go team. Yeah.
Go team.
Gears of War Reloaded. Sure looks like Gears of War. Really curious why this one wasn't on Switch too.
Yeah, I loved Rumblemans' comment in the chat as this trailer played, because it said something. I'm trying to get right here in the beginning, because it said it like right towards the groundbreaking original, and then what did it say? What sort of self-flagellating fucking thing? Like, I just said something about like Gears of War being this incredible. Like, okay, it was fine. It was Gears of War.
Yeah, did it really? I mean, like, look, I get it. It was a huge deal. I think it was.
It was successful.
Yeah, it was hugely successful. I do think that there was. I have no idea how to put an actual fine point on it, but there was something genuinely revolutionary about it. I think visually at the time, like, this was the first one that did what it did as well as it did, as far as like that over the shoulder dogshit brown gunmetal gray, nobody's got a neck, Unreal Engine stuff, just really it just all gelled in this one, and then there were just tons of copycats after that. So I don't think it, like, from a pure like reinventing, it didn't like change the game in that respect, but it itself was I could appreciate it as a very well-made game. I'm terrible at it. I always wanted to not be.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I played it with my buddy Brian when I lived in Florida, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. That was about it.
But yeah, when I saw this one, I was like, all right, for sure, this one's going to come to Switch, because it's it's an Xbox 360 game. It's remastered, but it doesn't look too different from the original. So surely they would put this on everything, right? Because why wouldn't you? It's freaking Gears of War.
Because the Switch is dead, Chris.
This was another one. I was just absolutely gobsmacked by, like, how is this not coming to Switch too? Like, I thought Microsoft and Nintendo were all buddy, and this just seems like such a no-brainer. It just makes me think that maybe the announcement's coming later. Maybe it's going to be part of a Nintendo Direct or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
It seemed like such an odd oversight, but okay, sure. Yeah. Why not? Sea of Thieves is still a thing. That's still going.
You're going to skip right over the Persona 4 revival?
Oh, God. I've totally forgot about So, didn't that one get remade already? Is this a remake?
I don't know. Persona confuses me and makes me weak. I know nothing about it. It scares me. I'm intimidated by it, and I don't want to talk about the fact that I don't know anything about Persona, because I feel like that might be the thing that gets the internet fucking trolls at us, and I don't want that.
Fair enough. So then we got an Invincible fighting game. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. It gives me yet another reason to want to buy that PlayStation fighting stick. because we've got the Marvel Tokon game, and now this Invincible fighting game, and the Mortal Kombat Legacy collection. Like, all right, maybe I do need a fighting stick. I got Marvel vs. Capcom collection. I might need one now. This looks great. I mean, this looks like stupid, just brutal, over the top, Invincible fun.
Yeah, the violence is quite nice. It does kind of make me a little sad that it looks so much better than the show's current animation, but
yeah.
Those voice actors are expensive.
They are indeed.
It is what it is, and the show is still wonderful. So, yeah, this looked great. This was definitely a highlight. We're getting.
Yep, this was number 3 on my top 3 of the show.
Final Fantasy 7 and 12 are coming to Xbox.
That's great. Those games should be everywhere. Great. Everybody should get a chance to play them.
And we got Keeper.
That's number 2.
Lighthouse. Yeah, this is another. I don't know about this one, guys. I feel like
Double Fine, so I'm good.
Tim Schafer has gone round the bend, sir. I feel like whatever grasp he had on reality has lost. It is gone. This one looked a little too weird for me. You're gonna have to let me know how it is. We're now in death. We're in Death Stranding territory of like, yeah, I think this. I think you've gone too far around the bend. I think it's over now.
Yeah,
touch with
this
reality.
spoke to me. This spoke to me in
I am not even vaguely surprised.
Gorgeous.
I'm not surprised.
It looks
in the
great.
least.
No, I don't think you should be. This is right up my fucking alley. Like, this is right up the, like, oh, this is super weird and made by Double Fine? Oh, thanks, guys. Well done.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
And then they closed the show on Call
with
of Duty Modern
interesting.
Warfare 4 billion or whatever it was.
Yes.
Yeah, something interesting that then became completely not interesting in an instant.
As soon as it was Call of Duty, I was like, well, I mean, I don't know that I should be immediately like, ew, to Black Ops 7, Blops S. But as soon as they showed the Call of Duty thing, I was out.
Peter Petrelli, and he's talking to robots, and then they're like, it's Call of Duty. You're like, wait a minute. Was it?
Yeah.
There was a point where this was a World War II thing. And then I know we went like slightly into the future at some point.
Sure.
But what the hell happened to this series in the last decade where we've now got Peter Petrelli talking to robots? What?
Well, if you're going to annualize shit, you've got to, like, this is where you're going to end up. You know what I mean? Like, these are annualized games that are just, you have to continuously push and push and push, and this is where we are. You know? It is what it is. So
I didn't like it.
So that wrapped it up. So I'm going to count real quick here. Give me 1 second. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my God. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. So I said 5 by 20. So there are 100 trailers per screen on this gamesrecap.io page, okay? There are 100 trailers per page, and there are 8 pages, Chris. So, and there's a few less. So this not E3 season, I have watched, and you have gotten pretty close to damn near 800 new game trailers.
Wow.
That is too fucking much. It's
and I don't
too
necessarily
much.
know what to do about it, because, you know, people are making games and they have a right to try and promote those games. But
100%. But this is nuts. And there were more last year. Last year there was close to 900. Because keep in mind, we did not get the what the fuck, the homebrew game show. Mm-hmm. We didn't get that. We didn't get Marvelous Games.
There hasn't been a Nintendo Direct.
There hasn't been a Nintendo Direct, so like there's gonna be more. You know, like there will be some more that will kind of fit into this. But like, what the fuck, man? That's a lot. That's so fucking much. And there's however many, because this RPG Direct is not even on this recap page that I found.
Yeah.
So there's over 800 fucking trailers. I mean, now, like, the whole time I was doing this, right, and going through and doing this post, and I did actually have fun with a lot of this, because Penny watched most of this with me. Roddy couldn't be fucking bothered, because it wasn't Nintendo, so he didn't give a shit. But Penny and I sat and watched most of these together. And it was really fun to sit there with my kid and get excited about games and, you know, this looks really cool and that looks really cool and all of that stuff. And but I just had the thought the entire time I was putting these posts together for the blog of like, man, I should have told Ryan I didn't want to get paid for these. And fuck, I wish I was getting paid for this. This would be a lot easier to, like, if this was my whole job. You know, but like trying to do this while also working a full-time job and being a parent, like, how is anybody supposed to keep up with this shit? You know? It's
I
just,
don't know,
it's
man. It's
an
out of
insane amount of stuff.
So there needs to be better centralized, and because like no one site had all of it, you know? Things still slipped through the cracks. Because there's just so fucking much of it. And
there's just so much.
These sites need to curate better. There is just... I understand that everybody has a right to promote their games. That's absolutely true. But when your showcase
for sure.
is 2.5... Like, if your showcase is more than feature length, everything squishes together. Everything... You've got to you make your showcases the best of the best, not just anybody who wants to promote their thing. Like,
right.
You've got to put a gate somewhere, like, because if you don't, then nothing is special. Like, I hate to say it, but like we're the actual example. Like, so much stuff clearly slipped through the cracks. You saw it happen to me. There were games that seemed interesting that just got completely by me because I was so numb from watching so many trailers. It's like,
and we were actively trying to pay attention to all of it.
We were, but then you've also got to think about, like, what's it? A lot of these the PC ones and the Steam ones and stuff. There were games that had been out for months already. They're not even all
some
new
of them.
things.
Yeah,
it's just like, here's this game came out in February or was in early access in February or something. Like, there just needs to be some sort of curation going on here, because I love this time of year. I love when...
I do too.
But what I loved so much about it was that the whole thing was that this is when everyone brings out their best and brightest.
Right.
And that's not what
just
this is anymore.
Everything.
It's not just, this is everything we can get our hands on to put into some sort of like, the longer we can make this, the better, right? No, just no. Absolutely not. That's not how this works, because everything just started to bleed together, and that's not what you want. You want this to be your best and brightest. You want this to be the cream of the crop. This is this is why it's special, because this is when you show us what's the rest of my year look like. And I assume that for a lot of these companies that or groups or whatever you want to call them that make these presentations, saying no to people probably isn't super fun. Like saying no, your trailer can't be in our showcase. It doesn't meet the standards, right? Like that can't be fun. But at the same time, you have to draw that line, or it just becomes a mess, and it feels unprofessional, and you lose the specialness.
Yeah. Well, and like, part of the thing that I'm struggling with too, or was up until, now, and I will try to get into it this week. I will try, but I also have a life and things going on, is that I am currently on the Steam Next Fest. So Steam does this every now and again. This is running up until June 16th. So there's only 3 days left as of this recording. By the time you all hear this, it won't be available any longer. But what they do with Steam Next Fest is that they put out a bunch of free demos for upcoming titles. And a lot of them are big games and games that we've talked about and a whole bunch of things. There have been so many showcases to get through on top of life that I haven't even had a chance to try any of the demos yet. And when I say that there are demos out, when we talk next week, I will be able to tell you about Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Mina the Hollower, Hirogami, Absalom. Those are the first 4 demos on the fucking Steam page, and I haven't played them yet. Because I haven't had a chance to. Because I've been watching fucking trailers. Because this isn't my job. It's not your job, So, it just becomes this weird, I would argue it's untenable at this point. This can't continue down this fucking path. But I don't know what the answer is on top of it, because then there's other stuff. I was talking to Tiff yesterday, because as I was making these posts on our blog, I was using game trailers on YouTube, right? Because for whatever reason, I decided I didn't want to embed IGN links. I was like, let me try to give it to game trailers or the companies when the game shows up first. And as I'm looking at it, there's a trailer on there for something I didn't see at any of these fests. And I went up and I talked to Tiff and I'm like, babe, fuck, I'm upset. And she was like, what's the matter now? And I was like, I don't want to play another Marvel mobile game. I already have Snap. I'm good. I don't want to play anything else. And she was like, okay, then don't. I said, well, see, here's the problem with that, is that I just watched the trailer for Marvel Mystic Mayhem, which is a mobile game that is coming out this month in a couple of weeks. And here's the fucked up problem, Kris, of why I'm going to have to play this game. It's called Mystic Mayhem, right? So the very first character they show in the trailer is Doctor Strange. Okay, so far, so good. Makes sense.
Mystic Sleepwalker's in it.
Sleepwalker is the second fucking character they showed.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you don't have a choice.
I don't have a fucking choice. I don't. And Tiff was like, you don't have to partake of every piece of media that Sleepwalker is in. I was like, I do, though, because he's not in fucking anything. So now I have to play this game. I don't have a choice. I have to fucking do it. But my point is, that wasn't at any of the fucking showcases. That I just happened to see on game trailers as I'm looking for other trailers to fucking embed in these posts. God damn it. Yeah, Sleepwalker comes up and saves Doctor Strange as he's fucking fallen. It's I'm really excited and really happy about it because, fuck, it's fucking Sleepwalker, dude. Yes, I'm in. I don't want to be because I want to play some of this other shit. God damn it. Oh, there's so much. It's just so much.
Well, we did it. Until they announce LRG3 and a Nintendo Direct, we're going to say that this year's not E3 is behind us, and it has been an unmitigated shit show. But there's been some cool shit in there, so hooray.
There's been some really incredible stuff. Please fucking read the blog and share it with people. I know I've mentioned it a bunch, but we don't have any commercials this week. So I've been doing a running commercial. Please read, please share, and please interact. There has to be stuff we missed, right?
Oh, sure.
Tell us what we missed.
All right, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do the checkpoint, and then we're going to go to bed because it's already 9:45. We've been at this for quite a while now. So you're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from geekade.com. Stick around.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andy. Neither of us are David Crane, but we are the hosts of David Crane's Amazing Movie Time.
That's our monthly Geekade Patreon exclusive podcast that covers movies that are cult classics, weird, or just sometimes laughably bad.
We ourselves have at least two of those qualities, so I guess it makes sense to hear what we think of those movies in retrospect.
You can hear all that and more by becoming a Geekade Patreon supporter.
And, as always, be kind, rewind.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. All right, everybody, we're back.
Short break.
Yeah, it was. So, this past weekend, after the show, it was the end of my little mini vacation that I took for myself, and my washing machine broke. Now, this was after.
Oh, that's the best.
I spent all that $917 getting the pipes fixed in my basement, getting rid of the
so fun.
The piercing clamps. So that's done. The water is. Did I tell you that the fridge was broken when we talked last, right?
Yes.
So that got. The fridge is still broken, but like the water is now safely off because the piercing clamps are gone. So, but yes, that job was $917, and then on Saturday the washing machine broke. So now I did a little research, and the nearest I can tell, the problem with it is, so it wasn't draining, right? It's still spinning. It's still performing all of those functions, but the water wouldn't drain. So I checked for clogs. I cleaned, double checked the filter. My filter is clean because I semi-regularly clean the filter. I did notice that the little tiny hose thing had a bunch of sand in it. So I was able to get that out using my bike pump and some electrical tape. Created a seal, and I was able to blow the sand back through the filter. So that's all clear now. And I was like, all right, did I do it? Did I solve the problem? Aw, no. Naga's here. Hi, Naga.
Hey, Naga.
You poor lonely dog. She didn't eat dinner tonight. She was upstairs hiding.
Because Karen's not there?
Yeah, she was upstairs sulking, and when I fed Hopper, she didn't come down. Now I feel like I should try to feed her, but I don't want to make her walk upstairs again.
No.
You poor chonkers. It's okay, lady. Can hang out. So anyway, I was hopeful that had fixed the problem, but it did not. The washer still wouldn't drain. So I was watching a couple of videos on like what happens with this brand of washer when that doesn't happen. These are the problems. It's either these things with the filter and the hose, which is the easy fix, or it's the drainage pump, which is the not so easy fix. Mm-hmm. So I watched how to fix it.
So naturally, it's the drainage pump.
Naturally, it's the drainage pump. Unless there's something else weird wrong with it, right? Because I'm not going to rule that out. I'm not an expert here, but it's not draining water, and I have to assume it's the drainage pump. Yeah, I checked the drain behind the hose behind the washer too. That seems to be clear. There don't appear to be any blockages there, so it's probably the pump. Because it was working, and then it suddenly wasn't. So, this thing is $100 part on its own, and I watched the video.
Why is everything $100 at least?
I don't know. I watched the video on how to change the drainage pump, and it doesn't look hard, but it does look complicated. Like,
yes,
you've got to take a lot of the washing machine apart to get to it, and then once you're there, there's like a bunch of things you need to make sure you disconnect and reconnect correctly, and I'm like, this seems like something I should hire somebody to fix. Yes. Which I don't want to, because that's going to cost a bunch of money. But if I try to fix it myself, not only is there a decent chance I could fuck it up, but it's also going to be a couple hours of work for me. Somebody who knows what they're doing is going to get this done, is going to be able to get this done relatively quickly. Like somebody who knows what this machine is and has taken one of them apart before. I don't imagine it's something that's going to take them a whole lot of time. It will take me at least 3 hours to do this job, at least.
Right.
So I'm on the market for a repair guy to come out. I also wanted to get my top gutters cleaned because I don't have a ladder that's tall enough to reach them, and I'm also terrified of heights. So I can clean my lower gutters, but the second floor gutters.
Oh,
no.
Second floor. Okay, I was going to say I don't think I have a ladder that'll get you there.
Unless you want to somebody to do that.
Live dangerously, and we can get the ladder up. Like, I'll drive down, and I will hoist a ladder up to you on your second, or like, do you have a split anywhere where you can like get up onto a shorter part of the roof?
I could get up onto my garage, but I'm terrified of heights. I could get a ladder. I know people here that have a ladder tall enough to get me on the roof. Absolutely not. I'm not doing it.
All right.
So
I'm gonna do it. I beat cancer, Chris.
You want to come clean my fucking gutters? You are welcome to. But either way, I'm going to pay somebody, my gutter company, to come out here and do that. Except I can't get in touch with them for some reason. I sent them a message, and it was like they were like, "Yeah, we'll get back to you. I'll talk to them in the morning, and I'll get right back to you." Cool. And then I never heard from them again. I emailed them again to follow
ghosted
up,
you.
And then I called them. Yeah, they're just ghosting me. I don't understand. This is the company that installed my gutters. They were real nice about it. They did a great job. They got back to me about cleaning the gutters out real quick, and then just completely ghosted me.
That's weird.
So, yeah, I need to get.
I'll clean your gutters, but then I might need to clean your gutters, if you know what I'm saying.
I do. Like,
I'm just saying, it's past 8:30, so now we're into gay shit.
There we go. There it is. I walk outside and I look at my gutters and I can see the plants growing out of them.
Oh, that's not great. Yeah, that's not what you want.
That's like, okay, it's gone too far. I need to clean out my gutters. So, yeah.
That sucks.
Washing machine's broken, so I had to go to the laundromat.
I have to cut trees down on the side of my house. That's what I have to do.
Well, that's
my washing machine thankfully works now. Not big. But it's going to be work, and I don't have the proper. So I need a chainsaw, like a mini chainsaw, you know.
Right.
I don't need a full like man chainsaw. I need like a teenager chainsaw.
Yeah, that's what I used to cut down. I had a tree on the side of my house I needed to take down, which was also small enough to take down with a little Tykes chainsaw, my first chainsaw.
Yeah. That's what I need.
And that was fun. That was a good time. I borrowed it from my mom, and I cut down a tree.
Why does your mom
and
have a chainsaw?
Because my mom really wanted a chainsaw.
I mean, I fully support your mom having a chainsaw. It's just from everything I know about your mom, she doesn't seem like the chainsaw type of lady.
There were things in the
she
backyard
seems more
that
like
needed...
she seems like a pruning shear kind of gal.
She's a chainsaw and sledgehammer kind of chick. Absolutely. When there was old furniture to get rid of, she'd take it into the backyard, beat the shit out of it for a while, and then she'd take the pieces out to the curb, whatever didn't fit in the garbage can. And there were things in the backyard that needed chainsawing, so she bought a chainsaw, and that was that.
That's fabulous.
So yeah, that's not so bad. And then I had firewood afterwards, so that was cool.
That's not bad. Now the washing machine thing, like, cause like, here's the fucked up part, right? I don't want a washing machine that connects to my Wi-Fi. I don't. I just want a machine that washes clothes. I don't want it to have a fucking OLED screen on it. I don't want it to be an Xbox. I just want a fucking washing machine, and you can't buy them any longer.
Really? Yeah, that's also what I want. Just my washing machine is fine. It sings me a little song when it's done, and
I don't want that. I don't want it to sing. I want it to rumble to a stop and just have washed my clothes. I don't want all this.
I love the little song.
Shit.
I'm not going to lie to you because you can. It's not super loud. You can change the volume. It's bleeps and bloops. It's a little beepy sound. It's a little beepy song, and it lets me know that the laundry's done, because I need to be reminded when the laundry is done so that I know to advance it. But because of that, I got to take Ellie to her first laundromat, so she was thrilled. Laundromats are definitely more expensive than they used to be.
They certainly are. There is something equalizing about a laundromat, though, right? Like,
that is true.
It just kind of levels the playing field. There's kind of a nice thing about it. Yeah, I don't hate a laundromat.
Everybody needs a laundromat. There's certain things, like, especially in the city, like, if you were rich or poor, like, if your apartment doesn't have laundry, it doesn't have room for laundry. That's that. You use the laundromat. Spider-Man used the laundromat. This is what it is. So yeah, that was kind of fun. Except, like, the big washer was like $7.95 to use, and it still only takes quarters. So thankfully, my dryer still works. So I ran everything through the washer, and then I ran around trying to find some yard sales because it was yard sale day in the neighborhood, and I found Killer Instinct for Xbox for $5. And then I ran it through their dryer for, like, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, just because I didn't want to carry wet laundry home, because that's super heavy. So I got it mostly dry, and then I finished drying it at our house. And it's just, I got to do it again tomorrow because I couldn't find anybody to come out and fix it this week. So, because I found
get a bucket and some water and some soap, and just go out back. Get the kids working. It's fine.
Yeah, because I've got that kind of time. Sure. I got nothing else to do
sit at the
than
laundromat?
spend literal hours. No, I don't stay there.
There's no more trailers to watch, Chris. Leave. What else are you doing?
I'm cleaning the fucking house. I'm mopping the floors. I'm doing the dishes. I'm putting away the clean dishes. I'm dusting. I'm vacuuming. I'm brushing the dog. I'm folding the laundry that is clean. I'm putting shit into the attic. I'm taking out the trash. I'm taking out the recycling. Like, I'm doing all the rest of the fucking chores.
How old is John?
11.
Put his ass to work. Yeah, no, it's time.
I do put his ass to work, and then I have to redo what he does because he doesn't.
Speaking of, we are currently in the process of cleaning the house so that a maid can come. Because my Aunt Sandy was like, what does Tiff want for her birthday? And I was like, I don't fucking know. Let me go ask her.
Maid service.
And Tiff was like, I want a maid to come in here. And I was like, I bet. I got you. Like, no worries, I'll tell it. You know, and Aunt Sandy was like, really? That's a weird thing to ask for, but sure. So Tiff, you know, her birthday was on the 3rd. And we
That's
haven't
not a
had
weird
the maid
thing to
come
ask
yet.
for. That's a fantastic thing to ask for. I
Yeah,
want my
well,
house
apparently,
professionally cleaned.
According to you and Tiff, that is a fantastic thing to ask for. I would punch somebody in the fucking dick if they got me a fucking maid service for my birthday. I would be so angry.
What a great gift. I would fucking love that. To have somebody show up and do, like, clean the windowsills. Clean the walls.
Yep. That's what's happening.
Get the areas in the floor that I can't reach. Give my house the deep clean that I don't have time or energy to do.
Yeah.
That would be fucking wonderful, because then I could spend all that time I would normally do cleaning that week on other things. And the little things like cleaning my fucking ceiling fan blades. Like that kind of stuff. Oh, get that done.
But think about how much
gift.
work has to go in to being able to have a cleaner come to your house. It's a weird fucking place to be. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know.
What do you
maybe
mean? What do you mean you need to have put work into having? Are you?
I need to
cleaning?
Yeah, you got to clean the house so the cleaner comes in. I don't know. My sister-in-law did the same thing. Like, she had a maid that came over, and every day, like every week or every other week before the maid would come over, she would be like, "Oh, I got to get cleaning because the maid's coming tomorrow." And I'd be like, "That's the weirdest fucking thing." I don't know. You just got to like straighten shit up and like put stuff. I don't know. Tiff's just making me do a bunch of shit this week because we're having a maid come. It's like, all right, that's fine. I don't know. It's strange. Maybe that's just me.
I don't know. I
don't know.
It didn't occur to me that you would need to clean up before the cleaner shows up.
Yeah. Maybe that's just me. Maybe we're filthy pigs, Chris. Thank you.
Maybe
Thank you
are.
for saying that.
Know.
We might be. No, I don't know.
No, but like, isn't the point that they're going to come clean?
Yeah, no, I know, but like, I don't know. Tiff has had me doing a bunch of shit this week and watching.
Like, you want them to show up and be like, "Look how clean my house is already." It's like, are you just hiring people to impress?
Maybe. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But like we're currently in the process of semi redoing the kitchen, right? And when I say redoing the kitchen, I mean that we're painting the cabinets and things like that. So there's currently, like, the maid can't come and clean because all of the cabinet drawers and the things that are in the drawers are in a bunch of fucking bins in the fucking dining room right now. Because I have to have all that shit out of the drawers because I'm putting handles on the drawers and I'm painting the drawers, and I can't do that when the sandwich bags and the fucking tinfoil is in there. You know, so like all of that stuff has to get done before the maid comes. You know what I mean? Does that make that
makes more sense?
Okay. Yeah, all right. That's what I'm talking. Yeah. Like, we're just in the middle. We happen to be in the middle of this other project of, you know, we've wanted to put handles on the cabinets and repaint them and do all of these things to the kitchen for a while. And we just happened to start doing it. And then it was like, all right, well, we're going to get a maid to come. It's like, well, fuck, I got to do all this other shit now before the maid can come. God damn it. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wonderful gift. I think I would be thrilled if somebody
right in their teeth.
Somebody got me a. It's not the kind of gift I would have ever even thought to get for myself either. Like, I never would have even considered it. So, like, I think that's what makes that a really cool gift.
Yeah. All right. Fair. Right on.
I love it.
I mean, Father's Day is coming in 2 days. Maybe that's what's happening for you. I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too. But maybe
I haven't talked to Karen. But maybe that or a blowjob. One of the two.
A few moments later.
I don't know if Evan's going to leave that in. And I didn't intend it that way, but you're... It was so fucking funny. I'm sorry. God damn it. I was... Oh, shit. I'm so excited for when this becomes a video podcast. It's going to be so much. Oh, God, I'm going to have to wear pants,
right now, on stream.
We're going to monetize this. Watch us on YouTube and RedTube.
Yeah, I think the washing machine was about. I mean, I did so I was stressed as fuck this week.
Sure.
Obviously I was coming back from vacation, so I knew there was stuff that I was going to need to do, and I really wanted to focus on getting the next Mario video done, because I've been working on it for months.
Right.
I've been chipping away at it piece by piece by piece, and I was just like, I need to get this done. My goal was to have it done by the end of June, and we're pushing through June. It's already the 13th. I need to get this done. Because once this chapter's out of the way, then the last two chapters are not nearly as hard. But this one was so fucking complicated.
Right.
It's enormous. It's going to be super long. So I asked for an extension on the videos. It's like, let me get. I'm not going to get this done in this week. And the thing that makes these take so long is that I can never get them done in a single week. So I have to do this and another video on top of it. And that's what makes it take so long. So I asked for an extension. It's like, look, I need to get this Mario video done. I need to not make a video this week so that I can spend 2 weeks working on this and just get it done. And Ryan said that was fine.
It was so hard for me to not jump into our employee chat, to pull back the curtain, our employee Discord, and not be like, yes, Kris, you totally have my approval. Like, I really wanted to jump in. I don't know if we're there yet with Ryan, though.
Maybe. Who knows?
I don't know if I've hit that point. I mean, we're going to be eventually, because I'm just going to say we are. Like, right now, it's fine making fun of the yacht, but, I don't want to overstep my bounds entirely. Anyway.
So I got to work on that super hard straight away, but then my deadlines showed up for Nintendo Force. I thought I had another week. So all of a sudden my deadlines are this Tuesday. Like, they're a couple of days away. And I'm like, all right, I have to finish Welcome Tour. I have to finish I don't need to finish Wind Waker. I know that game back and forth. I've played like 2.5 hours of it. I know what the Switch 2 version is. I get it.
Right.
I'm totally fine to write my Wind Waker review, but I can't review Switch Tour until I've seen everything it has to offer. The big problem, though, I'm going to get back to Welcome Tour. The big problem was Split Fiction, because Split Fiction cannot be played single player. There is no single player option. You have to be playing that game co-op. I got the review code for that on Tuesday night.
Yeesh.
So that's less, like, there was no way I was going to play it on Tuesday night. I had just gotten it. I still needed to download it, which took a while, and I got it relatively late in the day. There was just no way to actually get started on it that night. So I had less than a week to play this game.
Right.
And then Karen told me that she wasn't going to be able to play it with me this week because she was working on extra pieces for the show that she's at tonight. And I was like, fuck. I requested this review code because you said you'd play it with me. So now I got to find somebody else to play this with me now. So fortunately,
if not
my friend Greg stepped up. He came over. I canceled Waveback this week because I needed to play Split Fiction. So we've been playing starting at 7 o'clock Wednesday and Thursday, 7 to 10. So we put about 6 hours into it. And he's going to come over and play some more of it again tomorrow. But that's all I've got. Maybe tomorrow. He might be able to come by tomorrow. And if not, I'm going to have to write the review on Monday because Monday's the deadline, but he said I could go as late as Tuesday if I really need to. Because it's a print magazine. We have like hard deadlines.
You have to get
stuff
shit
to the
in.
printer. Yeah, we've got to get this stuff into the printer. So I'm 6 hours into the game. It's supposedly about 12 hours long. I haven't looked at a guide yet to see exactly how far into it we are, but I do think that if I have to YouTube the rest of it just to see what happens, I'll have a good enough grasp on the game. 6 hours of it, I think, is a pretty decent enough,
a good enough grasp
time
on the mechanics and whatnot.
Understand how the game feels, how it flows, and so I can see the rest of it to just kind of see what else happens to kind of base my opinion on it there. But split fiction has been a source of stress this week. So trying to get
good?
It's very good. It's
okay.
Odd. It's way weirder than I expected. And I mean that in a good way. Like, you know, I saw the trailers. I know what the game is about. It's about two writers that get sucked into a machine that, like, lets them live their writing experience. But it's far more creative than just that, because it's not just those two stories. It's all of the stories they've ever written, including weird shit from when they were a kid. So, like, I don't really want to spoil this. So anybody who hasn't played Split Fiction, anybody who hasn't played Split Fiction and doesn't want to be slightly spoiled on a goofy thing that happens in the game, you know, this is your spoiler warning right here. But I have to talk about this because it's really
insert
fucking
sirens.
Weird. Yes, insert sirens.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
So, during the game, you can go to these side missions, right? You can just stick to the main mission, but there are these portals that open up that'll take you to other side stories. And one of the ones that we went to was extremely surprising. We were both pigs.
Okay.
Now, the thing with Split Fiction is that both characters play differently. So, like, it's not like you have the same mechanics. You have to work together because you both can do different things. Like, you know, if you're in the future, the sci-fi thing, I'll have a laser sword and I can, like, anti-grav myself onto walls, while Greg's character had this, like, basically Ultra Hand from Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, where she can pick up anything with anti-grav stuff and swing it around. Like, it's really cool that way. So when we turned into pigs, Greg could turn into a giant spring pig and launch into the sky, whereas I could fart rocket-powered rainbows.
I mean, this sounds like a game I need to play.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I don't mean that, like, they made the fart noise and everything. Like, this game is fabulous. Way sillier than it looks. Like, this is really silly, but it got way weirder because at the end, we're, like, trying to travel through we're trying to collect apples for these weird, goofy, adorable doors. And then when we went through the last door, we fell into a meat grinder.
Oh, no!
And this is where we learned that the story was written by the little girl because she grew up on a farm, and this is how their parents kind of explained how the sausages were made. But the game was not over yet because then we were hot dogs.
Oh, yes. Yeah, this is great.
Now we're hot dogs, and we have to flop our way onto the hot dog buns. But when we get there, we're like, I'm not a good enough looking hot dog. I need to do better. So you have to flop over and get, like, you have to work together to get ketchup and mustard on you, and then you can flop into the hot dog buns, and then you get eaten.
Oh my God.
While you're both screaming, and then you just pop out of there and you're like, that was fucked up. So fucking fantastic.
Yeah, but I need to play this.
This game has that kind of, like, there's this one, I can't remember if it was a regular chapter or a side chapter, but there was this whole area that we played through that was about revenge. It's a sci-fi thing. It's action movie, laser swords and explosions, and it's all about revenge. And then you get to the boss, and because, like, the one girl obviously knows what it is because she's the one who wrote it, and then the other girl does not because this is all new to her. And when you find out what the revenge is for, and then you fight the boss, this one I won't spoil, because if you are going to play this game, I don't want to spoil this for you, because this boss fight is fantastic, but it's also fucking hysterical.
That's awesome.
When you find out what the revenge is for. There's this other bit where it was an escape sequence that had, like, Karen was like, while she's stitching, she's watching us play, and Greg and I are playing, and I'm driving, like there's this, I think it was a bomb that Greg needed to defuse while I'm driving us away from like these ships that are trying to blow us up. So I'm trying to steer and not crash into anything, and Greg needs to use a cell phone to defuse this bomb. And like, it's like, okay, you got to put it in the code. So it says swipe to unlock, and he's trying to swipe, but it's not swiping right. And then eventually he gets, but that's by design, because after you realize that it's just trying to frustrate the shit out of you, because after he finally swipes it open, it does one of the CAPTCHA things. We're just like, what the fuck? So he's trying to like match the pictures like a fucking CAPTCHA thing to prove he's not a bot, and then he had to sit through an ad before he and I was like, what the fuck? Game is hilarious, but what's so weird about it is like, I don't play AAA games very often, so like, and there's a good reason for it, is because like so much of there's just this weird degree of jank that doesn't exist in indie games and Nintendo games. It's like, there's a certain way this feels like, you know, when I played Horizon Zero Dawn, the way it wouldn't quite click with me is because like the way everything animates and the way the characters move has this very distinct feel that Nintendo games don't feel like. There's just a different feel to it. And so I boot up this game, and I've got to make an EA account, and I've got to agree to the terms of service, and I've got to sign into XYZ before I can even think about starting the game. And then it starts, and the facial animations look what they look like, and it's like realistic, and everyone's moving just a little bit too much because they're animated and they're motion captured, but it's too motion captured, you know? And it's like, there's something about it that's just kind of off-putting, and it's very, this is what AAA games feel like. This is what stuff like Assassin's Creed feels like, or Grand Theft Auto feels like when I try to play them. And so that's been very, very off-putting to me, but I've gotten used to it. And the game's extraordinarily creative. The writing could definitely be better. There's a ton of great ideas here. Some of it's hilarious, but like the actual dialogue itself is not spectacular. Like, it's sub CWTV. Okay. Yeah. Like, so it's just not quite there. There's emotional beats that you feel like that the game's definitely attempting to hit, but it's kind of wonky. Like the writing's just not quite there. That said, it's effective in that I understand what it's trying to convey, but it's not making me feel feelings for these characters. They're a bit endearing to me at this point, even though one of them is very annoying by design. It's just not quite, the emotional impact isn't hitting me because the writing's just not very good. That said, because the ideas, like the whole concept of this game, the machine that you get sucked into and everything is so half-baked. It's like, it's just, you're just not quite there. Like, you didn't really think, you didn't ask enough why before coming up with this concept to try to make it seem sound. But the villain is pretty one-notish, and it's fine. I'm very interested in that they're making this into a movie. Like, the fact that this got, now that I've played it, the fact that this got optioned for a movie so quick does not surprise me at all, because this will make a really cool movie. I just hope that the writing of the movie is, like, it takes what this game does and then kind of punches it up a little bit. Yeah, punches it up, gives it a little bit more meeting, like make it seem a little bit less completely insane what is happening at this publisher, you know, like just kind of make it feel a little tiny bit more grounded. But I really like it. It's you know, there are certain objectives that could be more clear. Like there have been rooms where we've been stuck trying to figure out what the puzzle is. That's one thing. But then there have been rooms where we've been stuck, been like, I just don't even know what you want me to try to do. Like, I just can't piece this together or where to go. Like, we'll be doing an escape sequence, and there's no real penalty for dying. The only time you really get penalized for dying is during boss fights, where you can only really die if you both die. Right? If one of you dies, you get this little thing where you have to mash the button, and as long as you do it fast enough before somebody else dies, you're fine. Like, it's the only way to really die is if you both are dead at the same time. So you can keep trying these over and over again, but it's like you'll be doing these escape sequences, and it's like, well, where do you want me to go? I don't understand what the path I'm trying to get. Oh, I got to go through this window. Like, the road's clearly telling you to go one way, but you have to go another way, and it's not immediately clear. So there's a couple of weird, not super well thought out
That's
bits
also
like that.
Like a AAA game thing that I've noticed.
The things.
There's
it
some
reminds
of that
me of
jank.
things that there's some of that in the Star Wars games that I've played, like the Jedi Survivor and stuff. There's some of that in there, and there's also sliding down hills just like that one, but it makes a lot more sense in this game.
So I suppose the big question for it then is this a game that a non-gamer can play?
That is, I don't necessarily think so, because I was pretty upset that Karen wasn't going to be able to play it with me, but also, like, now that I've played it with Greg, I think this game would frustrate the shit out of her. Like, it is not super hard, but it's not as not as welcoming as Pikmin 3. Like, Pikmin 3, Luigi's Mansion 3, we were able to play through those more or less okay. Like, this one is a little bit more hectic. So if you're not somebody who knows how to play a 3D action game, this will probably get very frustrating for you.
Okay. Because that's a fucking bummer.
A little bit. It's definitely a game for...
this is something that I would want to play with Tiff.
I feel like she'd be able to do it, though. She's
really bad at video games, though. Yeah. She's really good at watching them. Like, she loves watching them. Because I almost feel like...
hard. If you have even a basic grasp of, like, how to play a 3D action game, it's super forgiving. I guess there are just things about it that seem like Greg would struggle with some of it. I have struggled with some of it, and I chalk me struggling up to like, well, I don't play a lot of this kind of game, but I feel like Greg does, and there have definitely been areas where, like, we've tried to do something and it's like, fuck, I fucked that up again. But we always laugh about it because it's kind of funny when you fuck up. Like, you'll be having a conversation and then you'll just die in the mid-conversation and the dialogue will stop. Like, the dialogue just stopped just like right there. But the thing that kind of cheesed me off about it was the way the game share works.
Okay.
I assumed that if you did game share, everybody gets their own full screen. But no matter how you play this game, it is always in split screen. And
that's a little weird.
That's true for every console. Like, if you play Split Fiction online with somebody on Xbox, you will both be seeing the game in split screen. And I guess I kind of get it because it's like the game is kind of directed that way. Like, certain like, as you play in the game, the screen will come together and separate at specific moments to, like, kind of show things off. But I kind of feel like it would have been way cooler if we could each have our own full screen.
Sure.
Like, that kind of seemed like the point. Like, I get it if neither one of you is playing on the TV, then okay. But also, like, still, then we're each holding our own screen. Why can't we play this in full screen? Why can't I have a screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And not that it's really a problem. The game is designed around that kind of field of vision, but I don't know. It just seemed like a real missed opportunity. Game share is super quick, though. There's this other way you can do it in Split Fiction, which is on Switch 2, which seems pointless since game share exists, because, like, you can go through this whole, like, download of the free share copy version of the game, and I think that's for because it is cross-platform compatible. Like, this has cross-play, so if I want to play this with you, we can. But, like, game share on Switch 1 fucking works, and it's super quick. It's like nothing. You just press the game share thing, you go to the other console and, like, say, I want to do this, and then you just do, and it's done. And I'm playing a Switch 2 game on my Switch 1 that looks better than a Switch 1 game does, and it's like, this is fucking weird and cool, but it's in split screen. So we just went back to playing, and both of us playing it on the TV, but game share worked great on both. He brought over his Switch 2, and it just was super easy, barely an inconvenience. And we did it with Switch 1 as well, and it was great. Dunzo.
That's awesome.
Split Fiction's cool. I recommend it. If you have some I mean, obviously you have to have somebody to play with because you literally cannot play this single player. It won't let you. There is no AI option for the second character. The two people have to play it.
That's good though.
Which is
I like good. That's the direction it went in. Like you have to do this.
That means that they're able to design the game around needing two players, and it's a bold move, but it seems to be working out for this company great because It Takes Two sold like a bajillion copies, and apparently this one's did really well too, and it looks great on Switch. I haven't watched any real comparison videos, but I don't think it looks much different on other platforms, so I'm going to boot one up right now.
I would imagine it's relatively similar.
It runs
maybe a little
runs
cleaner,
smooth.
But this sounds like something that, at the very least, like I could play with one of the kids, and Tiff would watch along with it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I'm looking at a PS5 Pro versus Switch 2 comparison.
And you do have your glasses on. Okay.
I do.
All right.
I mean, I guess the frame rate's slightly lower on the Switch 2. There's a little bit of pop-in. Nope. They look pretty damn similar. Yeah. I wasn't sure what to expect, but no, this is the frame rate's lower on the Switch 2, but not like not in a way that's like, ew, this looks disgusting. It's like it's running at, I think it looks like either a solid 60 or maybe 120 on PS5, where Switch 2 is more like a 30, but it's consistent.
But that's still fine. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? HRR or something? The
HDR?
No, VRR, variable refresh rate. I learned that in the Welcome Tour, which I have lots of thoughts on.
All right, so we're already 3.5 hours in, and I know we have a bunch to cut out.
Yeah,
but of the silence of you picking up your child, but
I need
think
to go to sleep at some point.
I think we've tickled the balls and stroked the shaft enough. Everybody wants to know about Welcome Tour, Kris. That's what we're here for this week.
That's what we're here for. We're here for Welcome Tour.
I didn't play anything. I watched demos. Or I watch trailers, so I don't have anything to talk about. So put it in me. What's up?
I hate this game. There are things in this game that I really like. There are parts of this. There are parts of the Welcome Tour that I think are great. They're just buried under an entire experience that is so far beneath Nintendo's usual quality that it's hard to not be angry at.
Wow.
There's no ending. Okay. So if you go through these mini games and you make yourself get through all of them, you get nothing. Yeah. You get nothing.
Wow. Okay.
There's little lost and found items hidden throughout the entire game. Like every area's got something that you can, some sort of thing that you can find, then return to the lost and found. So I did that throughout the whole game. Every time it's the same exact text. There's no change in conversation. It's always like, it's the exact same words every time you return something. And then you finish returning all the items, and she puts a star on your map.
Oh, that's nice. Everybody loves a gold star.
It's not even a gold star. I couldn't even fucking find it. It's a tiny, tiny star on one of the icons in the corner. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Then I did all this shit. All the mini games. Some of the games are really interesting. Some of the tech demos are utterly fascinating. And some of the information is really cool. But then there's... All right, so like, let's talk about mini games. The first mini game you play is this UFO mini game where it's kind of fun. You're moving a mouse around. You're with a little UFO. It looks like a early 2000s Flash game because that's what it is. And I'm not saying that it doesn't have entertainment value, but it's pretty straightforward. And that's that. So that's kind of neat. but then there was this mini game later where I was supposed to try and match a face using the camera, and the camera's great for doing like the game chat and stuff. It tracks where your face is positioned great when you're playing the game, and you move around and it'll follow your face, so it'll stay in your icon. Like, the camera's great, but it's not great at recognizing specific facial expressions, because as I'm doing it, I'm making the face, and the face on the screen is just jiggering and pokering, and it's trying to follow my eyes, and then it rates you on how well you did the face, and no matter how well you did the face, it just depends on what the camera is picking up. And so you've got to try and get a high enough score on this with something you have no actual control over.
Yeesh.
And there's a bunch of mini games that were really, really frustrating like that, of like, well, this doesn't do it well enough. Like, I understand that maybe I can do it if I try hard enough on most of these things, but some of them, it's just a matter of circumstance. Or like, what's the surface of your table like? Where are you playing the mouse on? I will say this, the mouse works shockingly well on my couch. I can't remember if I said that last week. I think I did.
You did,
but
yeah.
It still blows my mind that it works so well on my couch. The information. So the way you get the information in the game are these little like quiz tables set up all over the place. And you go and you talk to them, and then they put a bunch of boards up, and then you read all this information on the boards. And the information is fairly dry, but it's it's well put together, and there's usually some sort of animated image that goes with it that's showing you these things, and some of it's really cool. Some of it's like, I can understand how a lot of people would think it's boring, but when they were explaining to me that they used what kind of specific plastic alloy they used to make the Joy-Con 2 straps, or the wrist strap thingies that attach to the bottom to make the mouse stuff work easier, so that it wouldn't bend or break when put under these specific kinds of pressure. Like, that kind of design stuff's really interesting to me. But they got really granular with some things, and then you go inside the Joy-Con, and it's like, well, what's that thing? I don't know.
And then this is a Joy-Con.
I'm walking past a circuit board, and it's like, well, here's where the battery is, here's where the rumble thing is. Okay, but what are all these other things I'm walking past? Explain to me the circuit board. This is your opportunity to explain basic electronics to people. Yeah. And why did you skip it? You're getting super granular. There is a friggin' stamp to collect for the Switch 2 logo on the Joy-Con grip. But, like, nothing about what a capacitor is. Like, come on.
That's weird. That's weird.
Teach me this stuff. This is your opportunity to teach me this stuff. The biggest concern for me in all of this is the game's structure, which really makes me question, who was this made for? Like,
right.
It's too granular. I'm repeating a lot of the things I said in my review, but it's like it's too granular for your casual audience, right? Because they make you go through a bunch of really obvious stuff, like this is the screen, like in the beginning of the game, and then, but it leads you through. First off, it doesn't matter what you're interested in; you have to do the game in the order that it tells you to. But you can't move on.
You can't just wander around and be like, I don't want to know about the screen. I know what a fucking screen is. I can tell you what a nit is. That's fine. I want to learn about X.
I don't actually care about the Switch 2 racing wheel. I want to move on to something else.
Right.
But you can't move on until you're done. And the game will let you know when you're done. You don't decide when you're done and you can move on to the next section. You have to find all the stamps. And the stamps are hidden. So you have to look around to find what areas of each specific piece of the Switch 2 they want you to learn about, which is fine for something like the screen. But once you get to like the Pro controller, and it's there, you have to find stamps for things that are underneath the controller. Not that you can flip the controller upside down. You have to find the stamps that correspond with things underneath the controller on top of it. It's maddening.
That's weird.
Because it turns into a pixel hunt. And you're just like wandering around like, my map will tell me how many things there are, but the map won't give me any hints on where anything is. The map won't even tell me how to get to the next area, because that's the other problem. You only find out where the next area is once you've found all the stamps. But if you accidentally find all the stamps before you've played all the mini games or done all the quizzes, which could take an extra like 15, 20 minutes, then you're done. The game won't point out where the next area is again. You can't get a refresher on that. You can't go to the actual information desk that has no information. The information desk has 3 people sitting behind it. The one person will allow you to invert your camera controls. The second person says, if you find anything laying around, you should bring it to the third person, which is the lost and found. And the third person is the lost and found. So if you want information on how to get around this interactive museum, there is none. The map tells you nothing, and the information booth won't give you any guidance. This is the perfect kind of game to put a big yellow arrow on the floor to teach you how to get from point A to point B, and it doesn't do it. There's no direction on how to get around the map. And the things aren't always where you think they are. Like, the next section is actually the inside of the Switch 2 console, but you have to remember what area that is and how to get to it and how to get from the camera back onto the controller, back onto the screen. And some of the things you can warp to, but you don't necessarily know that that's where the next entrance is to get to the Pro Controller or the racing wheel, you know? And then you get the mini games, which in the beginning of the game usually correspond with the area that you're in, but by the end of the game, it's like they had more mini games than they knew what to do with, like they knew what to put in these certain areas, or they wanted to keep these areas that were full of lots of dry information more fun. So they took mini games that had nothing to do with those sections and plopped them in the middle of there. And it's like, whoa, this feels really disorganized. And it's really jarring because I'm learning about the Pro Controller, so I pick up the Pro Controller to play a mini game to show me about the Pro Controller, and it says this requires mouse controls because it has nothing to do with the Pro Controller at all. And there's stuff like that on the inside of the Switch too as well. It's like, well, if this area is too dry, then you have to find a way to make that more fun. Don't just take something from another area and plop it here nonsensically because it doesn't make sense. It's not what you're learning about. It is not welcoming, and it is not a tour. The game. I said it at the beginning of in the beginning of my review. The title is a misnomer because the $10 cover charge doesn't make you feel very welcome, and there is no tour. There's no tour guide. There's no direction. The only thing that it does is funnel you from one area to the next because it won't let you just wander around. You have to figure this all out yourself. It's not giving you a tour. It's just a museum. But in a real museum, if you go to a museum, you say, I'm interested in fossils. So you look at the map and you say, this is where the fossil area is. So I'll hop in the elevator, I'll go to the fossil area, I'll learn about fossils. I've learned about fossils. That's neat. Now I'm either going to go home or I'm going to find something else. You cannot do that in this game because the map will not tell you anything except for how many things you've already done. And you can't choose to say, I want to look at the camera next. You have to do it in the order the game tells you to. And it's not like there's any real reason to it. It's not like there are things you learn in one area that will make other areas
that build
more
into
easy.
The next one. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, that's not entirely true. There are, but they make you get that information again when you go there. It's unskippable. Ew. You will be retaught the things you learned in previous areas that you had to get through to get here. Now, I would forgive that if I could have just ran there. Like, okay, obviously you needed this information in multiple places because people could do this in any order they wanted to. But they don't do that. They re-give you the information that you had to sit through before in these other areas. And it is super frustrating. And then there's the presentation problem. This presentation is so dry, and Nintendo has done this before, but so your character is this faceless avatar person. You cannot customize it at all. You choose from a random assortment of people waiting in line to get into the welcome tour.
It's not your me?
It's not your me. You can't make it your me. You can't even, change the color of your shirt. There's, 3 different options, and there's all these different character models standing around in line, and you can just keep shuffling through them, hoping that you'll find the collection that you like, or you just get bored and give up, which is what I did. And then there's no personality to the characters. They look really similar to Tip from Ring Fit Adventure, but Tip is super boring looking until he starts moving. Tip is hilarious. Tip is funny. Tip falls asleep and drops the ring con or runs off the screen and grabs something else. Like, they gave Tip this personality through dialogue, for the writing for the game and from animations. There's none of that here. The personality comes from the quizzes. Will sometimes have really funny answers, which is great. But a lot of the time, the answers are just super bland, making you feel like you're filling out an online survey or something. Like, they're just quizzes. It's work. And sometimes it's interesting, but sometimes it's super boring and super frustrating. And sometimes they'll give you some really cool historical context. And this stuff I loved. They'll be like, we're talking all about HD Rumble. How about we give you a quick history of Nintendo's history with Rumble, like starting back with the N64 Rumble pack and, going forth. Or things like the racing wheel. They're like, the racing wheel is pretty cool, right? We did this. This is how we improved on the Switch one. Okay, I've never even touched the Switch racing wheel because who the fuck cares? But then they compare it to the Wii racing wheel, but then they go all the way back to like this toy they made in Japan in the 1975 that was a racing wheel thing. Like, they go back through Nintendo's history a handful of times of like how they've done various cameras over the years, how they've done various microphones over the years. This is really interesting. So why didn't they lean into any of Nintendo's IP to give this stuff a personality? Like,
or context.
Exactly, or context. Like, they'll mention games that have run things before. When they're talking about the Rumble, they bring up Drill Dozer for Game Boy Advance. They show the box for it. But like, I'm playing a UFO minigame where I'm collecting stars and it's super bland. Why could that have not been UFO Kirby collecting stars with Kirby music playing in the background? Like, the face changing thing. It's awfully similar to the intro screen to Super Mario 64 where you deform Mario's face. Yeah. But instead, it's a generic emoji yellow smiley face that you're matching the faces on. Like,
so what I'm hearing you say is that you've definitely discovered why this was $10 and not $30. No. And not 30.
And not 30? Sure. But then again, but the question of the price comes down to why was this made in the first place? What was the purpose of this software? Because it doesn't feel like it was designed from the ground up to be sold. Like, if the purpose of this was to teach you about the Switch 2, then they've done a bad job of this. Because it's not organized in a way that makes you want to keep playing it. I would have stopped playing this. If I didn't need to do it for review, I would have stopped playing it because it stopped being fun. Especially the last area. You go through, it feels like it's all culminating, right? You've done you've left the Switch 2, you've now done the Pro Controller, you've done the steering wheel, you've done the camera, like, what's left? The inside of the Switch 2. And it is all quizzes. It's like 20 quizzes. And it's like, fuck. There's a lot to learn in here. And a lot of it was regurgitated information. Some of it was interesting, talking about like heat sinks and whatnot. But again, I'm walking past a ton of electronics, and I would like to know what they are and what they do, because they've rendered all of it. The circuit board, all of it. They've rendered the whole thing. So like, all right, if this is going to be a really complicated area, get to it. You want to show it all. I would be very interested to learn. If I've come this far, I'd be very interested to learn about how these electronic parts talk to each other. Like, there's a little tiny bit of it, but they left so much of it off of the board.
Like, I'm just going to watch a tech teardown of this thing.
Exactly. This game could have been an email.
Yeah. This email could have been a fist fight. It almost seems like... Well, it almost seems like... And this has been my big problem with it, and fully coming at this from a not having a dog in this particular fight, not owning a Switch 2. Certainly when I do get a Switch 2, I will not be buying this. But my problem with this is that this feels like the thing that Nintendo is currently being accused of. Because while I do not interact with the negativity that the internet typically spews out for shit like this, I have certainly seen a lot of the posts on Reddit and other places saying that the Switch 2 is greedy and Nintendo is being... That has been the word du jour, right? That has been thrown around with the Switch 2. I have heard the word and seen the word greed multiple times. Right, the fucking grifters got their script from headquarters, and greed is the word that we've decided to go with.
Yes.
But this thing feels like they're right, and that really fucking bothers me. This feels like a thing that was originally designed to be an interactive instruction manual, and a corporate decision was made. No, you got to charge this. You got to charge for this and make it a game. That's what it feels like you're describing, which feels like greed. And that's
what it smells like to me is What it smells like to me is that these tech demos, like they made these tech demos because, that's what they do. They make tech demos to demonstrate the technology. And at a certain point, somebody said, isn't it ridiculous that we don't let people do this stuff? Because this is a great way to teach people about what the system can do. I didn't know the Switch 2 screen had 10 inputs. That's fantastic. So they had this little twister game where you had to play with two... You had to put
you were
both
saying
your hands...
cheated. Yeah.
Did it together. That's a really fascinating thing. So somebody said, well, we should let people play this. Well, how do we do that? Well, we make it into a game. Okay, cool. And then they did that. They did a terrible job, but they did that. And then Nintendo being Nintendo, they said, but if it's something that we put this work into, we value our work and we're not going to give our work away for free. We worked on this, so we should charge money for it. And that I don't necessarily understand, because if the purpose is to teach you about the system you just bought, like, why are you charging for the instructions? Like, not to compare this to Astrobot, because they're two very different animals, but it just seems like
when you came to my house and we plugged in the PlayStation 5 and immediately jumped into Astro's Playroom, we were given a tech demo that was a fucking blast.
Yeah, and it was very much a game. And this one is really a collection of tech demos to show you how the system works. Okay, but
But that's not $10, man. It's just not.
Theoretically, it could be if it was arranged differently. Because here's what I think. If it was open and you could choose to do what you're going to do and get the basic information, like this is the cool stuff. If you want to learn more, you can pay to dive way deeper and learn about the circuit boards and learn about the fan and learn about why the dock is shaped the way that it is. If you want to get real granular, you can buy the software, or it's free with your Nintendo Switch Online subscription. Because that's where they should have done it. Like, if they're going to charge for it, which I still don't think they should have, or if they were, $5 tops. 10 feels like too much. But if they were to structure it in a way to make it so that everybody has access to the basic information, and then if you want to get way deeper, if you want to be a complete fucking nerd about it like me, $5 or free with your subscription to NSO. That's how you handle something like this. But even if it was free in its current form, I still don't recommend it. Because it's just kind of a mess. There are neat things in there, but they're not worth the price of admission. They're not worth suffering through the rest of this nonsense to get through, especially if you have any intent to try and finish the whole thing. Because when you do, you get nothing out of it. There's no sense of reward. There aren't even credits. Like, the game just says,
no trophies,
hey, thanks,
there's no
good
nothing.
job.
Yeah,
it says, thank you, good job. And then you just keep walking around until you're bored or more bored than you already are.
Weird.
It is a baffling piece of software. And if they had just dressed it up with a more fun personality, changed the structure, like, if any of the worst
Mario
games in
not
there,
your fucking tour guide?
there's a game where you have to scrape paint off of a wall, which is exactly as fun as it sounds. But you know how you dress that up? You make it Splatoon. The splat of paint came from a gun in Splatoon, and now you have to clean up after the Splatoon thing, and it's set to fun Splatoon music. That would have cost you nothing. But no, it would have cost you $20 or $30 is what it would have fucking cost you. But if you make it into a celebration of all the weird worlds of Nintendo, if you made some of the mini games Metroid themed, Star Fox themed, Mario themed, Kirby themed, I mean, you can even leave out Pokemon.
Dare we say Kid Icarus themed?
Dare we say? Wouldn't that be something? But do all of those things. You don't even include Pokemon, so you don't have to share any of the profits with Game Freak. Just do the things you own 100% outright.
Yeah.
That would be enough. That would be more than enough to make even the more frustrating things feel so much more fun and alive and with character. But there is no character in this. It's largely soulless, and it almost gets there with some of the answers are fucking hysterical sometimes. You get a multiple choice thing asking how the Joy-Cons are, you learn all about the magnets and the Joy-Cons, and the first question is how are the Joy-Cons attached to the system, and your options are I actually have a screenshot of this one. What are the options? Oh, where did that go? That's in my app. Because you can screenshot so easily now. You can auto-share your screenshots to the phone app, and then whatever you take a video or a picture of is automatically on your phone, ready to share.
That's
so,
nice. Magnetic
connector, it's super convenient. I fucking love it. It's so easy to share stuff now. I did miss the direct integration with Twitter and Facebook before, but this I think is better because I can share. It's just super easy to share to whatever is on your phone. Go.
Now I just have it, and
exactly, and I'm not trying to type on my screen whatever I want to include in my Twitter or Facebook post. It's on my phone where I can already type, and it's just right integrated with the app. All right, magnetic connector insights number 1. Which of the following is used to attach the Joy-Con 2 controllers to the Nintendo Switch console? Glue, magnets, a locking mechanism, or love?
Yeah, that's
fucking funny. That's fucking funny. Glue.
It's not $10 funny.
No, it's not $10 funny, but there's a bunch of things that are like that that are just so... The answers are so completely absurd, you have to laugh. They're so funny.
Yeah.
But there's not enough of that. That's the most personality it has is in these quizzes. And, some of the mini games can be fun, but I'm so angry at it because it had so much potential for me specifically. This game could have justified its $10 price tag to me personally. And even though I definitely got $10 worth of enjoyment if I really put together all of the good stuff, there was more than $10 worth of frustration to go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
It's just I just don't recommend it.
I mean, but even going beyond, you don't want to pay the voice actor to do Mario lines as your tour guide. How is Rob not your fucking tour guide?
Right? Where's Rob?
How are you not following Rob around to go and, when you go inside, quote unquote, the Switch 2, did you get there via warp pipe? Because you fucking should have. And again, what really bothers me about this is that it gives fuel to the fucking... It feeds the trolls. It is an unforced error that it just should have never happened. It just should have never happened.
I don't understand how it got out the door in this condition, because this is Like, Wii Music, I got it. I don't think it was a good idea, but when I played it, it was well put together. I understood it. I saw what they were going for. This one I'm completely baffled by. I don't understand it.
And it makes it so much worse that Bowser was out there saying shit like, once you get a hold of it, you'll see why we're charging you for it.
Right. That Bill Trinan at the treehouse thing.
Sorry. Yeah.
No. Once you play it, you'll understand. There's stuff in there. There's not. It's just
not. And everybody knew there wasn't. And again, like these unforced errors in the world where everything is rage bait, clicks and whatnot. It's just a mistake, because I have seen a lot of negativity around the Switch 2 instead of a lot of celebration. And that fucking sucks.
It does, because
it didn't need to happen.
It didn't need to happen. It was going to happen no matter what. Like, it really was. There's no way now that...
Sure, but at least they would have had to be more creative.
Understand what more about what went into the system. There's no way this thing was going to be less expensive than it is. This just wasn't going to happen in the world right now. And I get it. Mario Kart World being $80 is what it is. Mario Kart World's fucking great. I'm having so much fun with that game. I would have had more fun with that game this week if I had the time, but clearly I didn't have the time. But still, Mario Kart World's great. I'm not angry about the price tag, because I do think that it is. I'm gonna get that much gameplay out of it over the years, but it's a lot of money. But like,
it is.
But that's
motherfuckers are broke and trying to
not
justify.
An OLED. What do you mean the screen's not an OLED? The OLED's better. I'm going to stick with my OLED. This screen thing drives me fucking crazy. I'm not buying that. It doesn't have an OLED screen. I'm just going to stick with my Switch 1 OLED. But then you're not going to... The point of the Switch 2 isn't just the screen. It's that it's a more powerful device that can play more complex games. Like, the games on Mario Kart World is on Switch 2 because it wouldn't work on Switch 1. You're sticking with the old heart. It's like being angry at I can't play I'm not going to be able to play these N64 games on my Super Nintendo. But the Super Nintendo doesn't have, like, the system's not black, so I'm not buying it. I'll just stick with the gray thing. Like, you don't make any sense. Those two things.
I mean,
fuck, if you wanted the OLED screen, it was going to be a $550 system. Like, the OLED screen was going to make it cost more. They looked at it and they said, we can do fine. This was exactly what everyone's accusing them of not doing. Right? They were like, Nintendo used to be, they used to take a look at older technology and then try to make it work so that the system could be less expensive or whatever. That's what they did with this. They had to make the system better than the Switch 1, right? And then they said, well, if we put an OLED screen in this now, it's going to be more expensive. So how do we cut costs? We make this, then we make whatever, we do the best we can with this technology. That's literally what people are complaining about them not doing. But it's not their fault that everything costs more now. Everything costs more now. That's the fucking planet. Yes, Nintendo is a more profit-driven company now than they have been historically. They're being run by people who are very profit-driven over creativity-driven. I don't like that about current generation Nintendo. But it's not overwhelming corporate greed. They're not Electronic Arts. They're not Activision. They are just more profit-driven. They're getting there. They're pushing the envelope, but they're not quite there yet.
And that's concerning.
That is concerning. But you look at the actual list of complaints. It's all, they're anti-consumer. They shut down all these tournaments. They don't like it when people pirate their games. Nobody likes it when you pirate their games.
No, everybody else is cool with it.
Yes, they are overly litigious, but they're overly litigious on you stealing their shit. And again, it always comes back to the internet mentality of the phrase, it's always morally correct to pirate Nintendo's games. And it's not. I know you want it to be because you don't want to pay money for things. I understand that. But, like, there's this...
I am also broke. I get it.
I get it. There's this want to jump onto, like, the internet's always looking for a new villain. And, like, I was thinking about this today when I was walking Hopper about the whole notion of, like, how angry everyone is about the digital games and the digital game cards, and, like, how often I see, like, fuck Nintendo. They don't let you own anything. They can break your system whenever they want, and you're always just renting things from them. Like, this is where video games are right now. Not every piece of media has always. When you listen to music on the radio, that was disposable. When you paid for cable, right? You paid for. I can't own these NES games, and Nintendo Switch Online is bullshit. I miss the Virtual Console where I could buy all those games. This is just bullshit rental service. When you used to pay for cable television, the only way you could back up that stuff was by recording it yourself.
Yeah.
And we didn't complain about it then. Nobody's complaining about the fact that you don't own the shit you get through Game Pass. When you don't subscribe to Game Pass, you don't keep all the shit that you had when you were on Game Pass. At least I don't think you do. Like,
I don't think so.
It's the same basic principle.
There's a weird
and you were
discourse.
never going to buy Eliminator Bolt Duel. You weren't going to buy all these games. You were going to buy the Virtual Console proved. You were going to buy Mario, you were going to buy Sonic, and Zelda, and that was pretty much it. So all these other games that show up as part of this service you're already paying for, you now have a better chance of people playing Blast Corps, Pilot Wing 64, Stunt Race FX. Like, this stuff can fill in these areas and become more playable because now everyone who pays for the online service has access to them. And the online service isn't even all that expensive. It's just it's anger for the sake of anger, and I understand the anger at not having this stuff. Like, I want to be able to buy this, and then I want to be able to have it. So if I want to play it 30 years down the line, I have the option to, because I want to be able to keep what I pay for. And, like, I understand that notion, but I also understand the reality of this is where this kind of content is. And, like, we just talked about 900 some odd video game trailers. You're never going to play everything. You are never going to play all of it. You don't need to actually own everything forever because you're never going to play all of it. Now, being able to resell things, that's a big part of the equation that kind of sucks with things like Steam. But the digital game cards, for as much as they are anger-inducing, they give you an option to sell a digital game because they're tied to a physical key. So, well, and I understand. There's reason for rage. I don't want to come off like I'm defending them 100% because I'm not. There is reason to look at this stuff and point a finger and, like, kind of scratch your chin and be like, I don't know about this, but it's worth a conversation. But the fact that it's just like, this is so easy to villainize, to be like, fuck Nintendo, fuck them for all the shit that they do, fuck these guys, they're just evil corporations that just want to fuck you and steal all your money, fuck all these guys, they're so evil, they're so terrible, they're the fucking worst, they're so anti-consumer. That fucking anti-consumer phrase pisses me off so much because it doesn't make any goddamn sense. What do you mean the corporations are as pro-consumer as you can get because they want you to consume. That's their whole fucking purpose. Anti-consumer, they want you to spend as much money as you can. That's consuming, you fuckwit. What is this anti-consumer nonsense? They're not giving you shit for free? That's not anti-consumer. That's being in a goddamn business, you fucking idiots. Anti-consumer. Like, they're supposed to be fucking blowing you every time you turn on your system. They're not your fucking friends. They're never been your fucking friends. They're trying to sell you stuff. Get over it. It's a fucking business.
That's the whole fucking point that, like, I think maybe part of it is that a lot of people are just starting to kind of wake up to that fact and realize that fact of, like, these people aren't your fucking friends, man. Like, they never have been. They never have been.
They could be really cool dudes.
Sure.
And that's great. Like, they could be really cool, and they could do they give you they make art that brings you joy.
Yeah.
Like, it's
but
like
they're doing it to make a profit.
Exactly. It's like paying to go to the movies.
It is
like
what it
paying
is.
It's like paying it's really not that different from paying your local artist, for fuck's sake. If you create something, you're going to demand it for free from your friend who created something? You're going to go to their booth and you're going to buy it at a show that they're in because you want to support their art. Yes, it is on a hugely different level, but
sure,
you're still not getting free shit. I don't understand. I don't understand the sense of entitlement. I don't know. I deserve this for free.
I think maybe part of the Nintendo backlash currently is that Nintendo always has been kind of viewed as like the kid-friendly company and the thing that is for children, which I don't think is like a bold statement to make. No. You know, Nintendo has always been viewed as the more kid-centered thing, and now when their business practices and pricing and all of those things are in line with everybody else, you know, there's certainly part of that. And a lot of this, I think, is also driven by this kind of bullshit, outrage, rage bait culture and all of those things. And I think
it's always cool to hate on the popular thing. We saw it happen with Marvel. We saw it happen with everything. Switch was insanely successful and insanely popular. Yeah. Therefore, it must be garbage because, you all like that cool thing? Well, I'm cool. I'm smarter than you because I don't like that cool thing. Look how cool I am. I'm fucking smart because I don't like the cool thing. You guys are all sheep. Fuck you. Go die in a dumpster fire.
It's just fucking weird.
Shit. So angry.
Yeah, I do too. Like,
can't we just enjoy stuff?
No,
Mario Kart's great,
Kris.
I bought a Switch 2. I bought Mario. It came with Mario Kart. I'm out a fucking blast playing it with the kids. It's really fun. I can't wait for Donkey Kong. I can't wait for Metroid. Yeah. This system runs great. It does. All I wanted was a more powerful Switch. That's all I wanted. Would it have been great had they dropped the price of the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 would have been, replaced around that price situation? That would have been great. And I still think Nintendo could have afforded to do it, and I think it would have gotten even more systems into people's hands. But again, clearly I'm wrong. This is the fastest selling system in the history of the United States. Is it going to last long term? Who the fuck knows? But
so that's the big question then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big question.
It sold really quick from jump, but what's the longevity of it?
Yeah. And the answer to that is going to come down to the games. Are they going to get the games on this system that are going to keep people buying? And I hope that I really want Donkey Kong to do very well because I love that brand.
I hope so too.
Donkey Kong is so uneven as far as sales. Like Donkey Kong Country Returns sold like fucking hotcakes. And then Tropical Freeze didn't, which, all right, it was on Wii U, but then they threw it on Switch and it still didn't sell. It sold better, but it still didn't sell what Returns did, and it's a much better game, right? The original Donkey Kong Country sold,
but it doesn't have the nostalgia around it.
Yeah, but Donkey Kong as a character, like they just opened the thing in the theme park. He was a big part of the Mario movie. If I really want them to succeed on this marketing, because I think Bonanza is going to be a really good game. It looks like a really good game. I'm very excited for it. But I also want to know what else there is. I want to see more of this stuff from other companies. I want to see what other people are going to do with these mouse controls. I want to see more PC ports because the mouse shit works real well. So keep them coming. But I think we really need a Nintendo Direct to give. Now that the dust is settled, I think sometime within the next week or two before Donkey Kong, we're going to need a Direct that's going to show off what this system's got coming to it, including Hollow Knight. Give us fucking damn assholes.
Fucking just... Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting, like, I just looked it up, so according to videogamesales.com, for however accurate any of this is, Donkey Kong Country sold 13.31 million units. Donkey Kong Country Returns sold 10.74 million. Donkey Kong Country 2, though, Right, so that's pretty good for both of those. But then Donkey Kong Country 2 and Tropical Freeze are both at around 6.1 million.
And both of those games are what people consider to be largely superior to their prequels. I don't feel the same way in Donkey Kong Country. I think the original Country is better than 2, but I know I'm in the minority on that. But Tropical Freeze is just a better game than Returns.
Yeah.
And Returns is great, but Tropical Freeze is better. But then you shouldn't have called it Donkey Kong Country Returns, because then you could have called the sequel like Donkey Kong City 2 or something. They could have called Tropical Freeze something other than that and even show that it's a follow-up of that.
Even breaking it down, like Tropical Freeze on Switch, 4.6. Tropical Freeze on Wii U, 2.02. Like, that's not what you want. Like, and not when you're...
Again, it was Wii U, so that doesn't surprise me at the fuck all, but
that's not what you want. That's not the way that's supposed to go.
To follow as the follow-up to Donkey Kong Country Returns, which sold gangbusters on the Wii, they're 10 million copies. That's a big ass number. Yeah, it's a huge drop.
I mean, I really want Switch 2 to be a positive force going forward. You know, I really do.
I do think it's going to get there. I do think that once
I hope so,
because right now, like remember the whole drop the price thing that died off.
Yeah.
Now it's because it's easy. It's fun. It's easy and fun.
We don't have the
like,
staying power for any of that shit anymore.
Yeah, all this is it's easy and fun to point at this and say this is the evil thing. Like, okay, but the other guys are actually raising the prices of their systems. Sony raised the price of the PS5 and is talking about PS6 in the same breath. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Sony, I'm not even thinking about PlayStation 6. Like, why in the world?
Not anywhere. Not anytime soon.
Why in the world would they even be considering a PS6? You haven't even sniffed the potential of the PlayStation 5, especially the PS5 Pro. You've got years left in this hardware.
Yeah.
Just keep it going. And like Sony's, they're the masters of that. The PlayStation 2 was on the market for like 35 years. If anyone in this industry knows how long they can stretch hardware, it's fucking Sony. What are you doing talking about PS6? Whereas Microsoft is just like, yeah, we're making another Xbox. Because why the fuck not? Let's just keep making Xboxes. Why not?
That's right. Everybody's an Xbox. Your mom's an Xbox.
So you're going to make a new dedicated Xbox, like a next generation Xbox, to immediately make your brand new handheld obsolete.
Yes.
What the... You know, the thing with the dragons, and the one dragon head, it's a 3-headed dragon, and like the 2 heads are all angry, and the other one's super... Microsoft is the goofy-headed dragon right now.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Lovable, but what are you doing?
But come on, guys. But what are we doing
here? Like, Nintendo just came off a Switch, and they're already saying, the Switch 2, we want it to be another one of those generations. We're going to stick with this hardware as long as we can, and that's what you do. You don't need to iterate on this stuff anymore. The Switch needed to be iterated on. Like, from a technical standpoint of what third parties and games wanted to do with that system, it was time for new hardware. It is unfortunate that the world is on fire and everything became more expensive because of unfettered greed, but here we are. PlayStation 5, stick with that thing. Keep that thing alive for years. Tap its potential, because they never tapped the potential of the PlayStation 4. They didn't even tap the potential of the PS3. They just kept moving on to the next generation because it's time to. Like, no.
It's time.
Take a page out of Nintendo's book and make a whole fuckload more money. Stop it with the short-term gains and just realize you can keep selling this hardware if you keep innovating with it. Like, just do that. Keep innovating with this hardware. Maximize it. Make it less expensive. Find ways over the years to make this thing better, instead of making a new thing. And that is my I'm getting off my soapbox. I'm fucking exhausted. It's 11:15. It's time for bed. All right. Welcome Tour is infuriating. Don't buy it. I cannot recommend that game. I just don't. under any
Don't
circumstances.
you dare.
Mario Kart World is great. Knockout Tour is awesome. Game chat is great. Game chat is a wonderful thing. I understand it way better now. It's one of those barrier of entry things. I think I mentioned this last week too. But the game chat thing, like, it's just like you talk about with the Steam Deck. Like, I've used a Steam Deck. There is a difference between the Steam Deck and the Switch. Whereas I literally like just boop, it's on.
Yep.
Like, that's it. That's the magic of it. Then that's the same thing with game chat. You push a button on your existing controller and you're in it. There is no selecting something. There's no saying, I'm going to open up Discord now. There's nothing. You push a button, you're doing it. That's the point of it. I understand it.
Yeah.
You have made it, you've lowered the bar as much as humanly possible to make, chatting with your friends a thing. Cool.
Yeah.
I understand it.
That's all I want.
Wind Waker is also great. Soul Calibur 2 is still a wonderful game. Soul Calibur 2 is great. So is F-Zero. Switch 2 is wonderful. I can't wait to see what's next.
Fuck yeah.
And that is our show. Join us next time for another episode where we will not be dedicating 3 hours or whatever to recapping not E3 stuff. The only things that I'm going to watch are, if they show up, Nintendo Direct and LRG3. That's it. Anybody else wants to make a showcase, I'll watch it next year. Otherwise, I really don't know what we're doing. I'm too tired to figure this out right now.
Sure.
So that's it. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows in the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making this show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.